Hailing frequencies are open. Welcome to the Last Excelsior, our Star Trek Adventure 2nd Edition live play here with the StreamPunks and Drac. Oh yes, and Drac. I feel like such an old timer calling it live play because I think the community has officially adopted actual play, haven't they? That's kind of what it's called now.
Pretty much.
I'm such an old timer. All right. Well, hello. Good evening, everybody. We're going to kick things off here with a couple of quick announcements. Is my what? Are people? I've shrunk a tad. What's happening?
Wait, what?
I don't know. Chat's telling me I've been shrinking.
What?
No need to get
I
short.
don't know. I don't know what's going on. Tonight I'll be jammed by Eric's hair. I'm sorry. Well, I mean, I have been told for Eric.
Cat,
what is
Herrick.
going on?
It was right there. Herrick.
Did you just get like captured by the chat?
I don't know. I feel like I feel my window was too low. Oh, Jake was futzing.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
All right. I was like, what is going on? All right. So hi everybody. Welcome to the Last Excelsior. We're going to kick things off. Let's just go ahead and jump into some announcements real quick. My announcement tonight is actually quite quick. I just wanted to let everybody know. If you are a monthly supporter of the StreamPunks over on the Coffee, just so you know, we threw up a little treat tonight over on the Coffee account. If you head over there right now, you will see that I have posted the character sheet of the USS Pride available for your viewing pleasure, including the art done by one Aaron Harvey, also known as Geek Filter, who's been absolutely killing it doing some fan art. I went ahead and slapped that beautiful piece of art, one of the many beautiful pieces of art that Aaron's done for us, and go ahead and check it out because that's y'all's ship. That's going to be available to y'all, and that's all I have for tonight. Anybody have any announcements before we jump into the game tonight? I know there's no. Okay, yes, Noir, go ahead.
Yeah, hello everybody. I've put up a couple of games on Start Playing Games, so if you would like to join the same Noirville universe that you see here on StreamPunks, feel free to join. And if you want to know more about Noirville, head on over to noirville.com or thenoirenigma.com. It'll take you to the same place. There's new merch up, including Noirville merch and Uppies for the Boys shirts. So check it out. Help me pay for a replacement to my car.
Yes, Noir's shuttlecraft, unfortunately, was stolen by Orions. Anyway.
Section 31 jacked my whip. No, it's cool.
All right, thanks, Noir. Anybody else have any other announcements before we jump into tonight's game? Nothing. It's very quiet. Okay, yeah, go ahead, Sam.
Quick show of hands from the class. Who all has a song stuck in their head right now?
Well, now I do.
That roughly accords to the prevalence in people. 47% of hearing people have a song in their head at any given time, and weirdly, the version you have in your head might actually be in the right key. We might all have a little more perfect pitch than we give ourselves credit for. It might not all be musicians and speakers of tonal language and all that cool stuff. It might just be built into your brain skull. Find out more on the latest episode of May Contain Science live now on youtube.com/@Delevely, DELEVELY. Don't get the Wii Shop theme stuck in your head, kids. Brains were a mistake.
Why would you do that?
Why would you say that?
I got booty rocket everywhere.
Award myself threat
Mixed
now.
with them.
Those mash them. It's got to exist. That mashup has to exist.
Mash them, mix them, and stew.
Tasty.
I'm excited.
All right. Well, with that loveliness, let's go ahead and jump into tonight's episode of The Last Excelsior. Welcome back, everybody. Let's go ahead and jump into tonight's episode of The Last Excelsior. Where we last left off, the USS Pride is currently still docked at Starbase 16. You guys have just finished undergoing your first flight test of the new Peregrine fighters, taking Griffon Wing for its first spin to get a feel for the squadron, or the wing, I should say, but also to allow the wing to get a feel for the Peregrine fighters. Not everyone is specialized in flying these types of craft. They are being phased out. So not everyone is being trained on them right now. Peregrine fighters are considered somewhat obsolete after the Dominion War, and they are being slowly removed from Starfleet's fleet. However, there are some out there that believe that they can be put to some good use and that they have some unique attributes that make them ideal for search and rescue and many other different types of operations to help supplement ships, particularly an aging ship like the USS Pride, who can't quite keep up with some of the tech that's jammed into some of the new, bigger starships. That wing flight went pretty well. There's also been the crew transfers has been taking place. As you guys have been getting a lot of the equipment that has been stored upon the USS Pride, there's also been a lot of personnel that has joined up with the USS Pride. The crew is now basically settled in. I would say the USS Pride has reached its official complement of crew for this particular tour of duty. You're not maxed out. I think it's 700 total, somewhere around there. It varies from Excelsior to Excelsior, honest, but averages around 700 to 750 officers and crew. In this case, the USS Pride has roughly about 600 or so officers and crew on board. With the full complement, and with your first test flight complete, you have your first mission orders. The USS Pride is to proceed to Gellum-Teve system to conduct a timed trial of the refit Peregrine fighter craft. The USS Pride has been outfitted with specialized probes or nav markers that, once fired, will assume a pre-programmed location within the asteroid field. Once all 6 nav markers are in place, USS Pride and Griffon Wing will conduct a search and rescue mission simulation. Note the operation is clocked and timed. However, there is no red line stop time. It's to see how fast you guys can get this done. The faster the better, obviously. And starting the operation itself is at the captain's leisure. So you can show up and hang out at the asteroid field as long as you feel like you need and before the team is ready to go. Griffon Wing will serve as the eyes of the USS Pride and will lead the Pride to each location of nav markers. Griffon Wing will be testing the new Gidget drones. Gidget drones are small probes or drones that act as buddies to each rescue craft using holographic technology similar to the Exocomp's ability to create modular tools for any situation. However, they have been having some problems with their power systems. Those are the standing orders. Now, just so you all know, the official orders, which do count as values for your character, your orders are complete testing the refit Peregrine fighters in timed search and rescue scenario. And the order, just as a reminder, because it's always in effect, uphold the Prime Directive, General Order 1. Not that y'all need to be told this, because if there's anyone who went above and beyond to make sure the Prime Directive was protected, it was y'all on the last mission you had. So we're going to start this session off with the beginning of Alpha Shift, and the USS Pride is currently a hive of busyness as officers are moving about the corridors and getting to their stations. The bridge right now is abuzz with activity. Captain, you are constantly being handed data pads for your approval and signature as department heads are checking in and letting you know the status of things. You are being handed one after the other by a yeoman. As you're signing them and sending them off, all the stations are coming online on the bridge. The view screen is currently activated. You can see open into the interior of Starbase 16 with various starships moving in and out of those great space doors, a couple of civilian craft, and then, curiously, a loud sneezing sound behind you. The 10th that you realize you've heard in the past just maybe few minutes.
Bless you.
It's Lieutenant Zaria Shirali, your Chief Tactical Officer. As you glance back at the rather fierce-looking Andorian security tactical officer who stands behind you, her eyes are watery and furious-looking, probably from rubbing it. And she quickly just rubs her nose and just, I presume the proper reply to that is thank you, Captain.
Yes, maybe consider stopping by the med bay. You should have someone take a look at that. Are you feeling all right?
Make me an insight check.
Ooh, I can do that.
Command
And
insight.
I even have die to do it too, if I could not drop them on the floor. All right.
Always a test.
Command insight.
And I'm going to roll control command.
Here we go. Oh yeah, that's
Okie doke.
12 is what I have to roll under. I rolled a 6 and a 7.
Okie doke. The jaw clench, the muscle in her jaw that flexes, tells you right away, Captain, she is debating on answering you truthfully. It's about a second long before she goes, just a sniffle. Thank you, Captain. And looks back at the console in front of her, just kind of focuses. Andorians, though, notorious for being very difficult to mask how they are really feeling. Andorians are people who exalt how emotions ride everything they do, and they are very expressive. So as she assumes that stiff upper lip and says, I'm fine, Captain, thank you. She glances down back at her console. You can see her antenna kind of flexing a little bit, arcing downwards, like almost like someone's eyebrows, how they would react if they were really not happy right now.
I've been given like a bunch of tasks and things to sign off on. Do I have anything that needs to go to the med bay?
Yes. Yes, I dare say you would. The CMO probably does require some kind of data pad from the captain of the ship.
There's lots of new people coming onto the ship. They all have to have like medical reports on board and stuff.
It is very true.
You know, speaking of med bay, it completely slipped my mind that among all of the many tasks that I have to get signed off on some medical inventory. I hate to ask, you mind running that for me?
Zerali glances down at the data pad. You see her brow furrow for a moment before she glances back up at you. You can tell, as somebody who studies tactics and anticipates her opponent's moves and the feints that they give, she's already anticipating exactly what this is. And again, the jaw clench as she stares at it and says, hi, Captain. And she...
I mean, listen, you're saving me. It'd be a real bad look for me to get lost on my way to med bay again, so thank you.
Anything I can do to help save face, Captain?
I owe you one.
She moves over to the security console, taps the LCARs. There's a chirping sound. You hear her say, Lieutenant Commander Tian, please report to the bridge.
On my way, man.
A few moments later, the turbolift doors open, and do please describe your character as you step on board the bridge.
Yeah. So as I step onto the bridge, you see about 6 foot, 6'1" Vulcan. They're black with the very typical Vulcan pointed ears, upswept eyebrows. You see as they step onto the bridge, their gait is kind of odd, slightly heavy on one side, as you notice that their left leg is actually a prosthetic, and their left hand is a very simple black cane helping them as they walk. They're about, if you compare them to a human, they look about in their late to mid 20s, but they're about 40 years old, mid 40s in Vulcan years, and they have again kind of almost looking around the Pride as they enter this bridge, taking note of every entrance and exit, every person and personnel in this room. You see a kind of rhythmic tapping on the side of their leg of their right hand. As you see, their right arm is also a prosthetic, cybernetic prosthetic. Sides of the head shaved, kind of a messy up top. And they may be odd for some people who know other Vulcans, a slight smile on their face as they walk in into the bridge. And I think they regard Shyla and then turn to the captain and nod instinctively, and then freeze for a moment. Have we met, Captain?
USS Javelin?
Yes.
I spent time there. Captain Jiren.
Wait. Jiren. And you see them almost instinctively reach out for a hug and then stop themselves and go, Captain, and reach a hand out instead for a handshake.
Takes the handshake, kind of does a quick look back and forth and then brings you in for a hug.
They give you a tight squeeze and go, you're Captain now.
Mistakes were made, but here we are.
Hey, just fake it till you make it. That's what I did.
I think I'm affected a little too well. What are you doing here?
I was reassigned here. I honestly didn't know that you would be the captain of ship, but I'm glad you are. A familiar face is always nice.
There's a lot of them here.
Yeah.
How you taking it in? It's a little retro. First impression?
Bigger than my last assignment, so I'm glad for the breathing room.
Well, would you like a tour of the place, or has that been done already? I'm certain if anybody were to even see me giving you a tour, I'd be told that's not something that a captain would do.
I'm sure you can designate that task to someone. I haven't been able to take a tour just yet, but I understand that. And they'll turn to Shyla. You needed me?
She looks at you and says,
Zarya.
I'm sorry. What? Oh. Yes, Commander. Please assume my duty station. I'm going to sickbay.
Of course.
Thank you. You're saving me here.
It's fine, Captain. Thank you. I'm glad I could be of service. And she, teeth clenched, moves over to the turbo lift and starts to wait awkwardly.
It's just one of those moments where they're like all just looking at each other, waiting for the door to go
by. But then you start walking the same direction or moving the same direction. Yeah. A few moments later, door opens. She steps inside. Door closes. Turbolift leaves. You assume the tactical station. One thing you've noticed standing here at the tactical station, there is something oddly charming about the bridge and the ship that you've been assigned to. You've already become quite familiar with what Starfleet would consider roughing it. You know what it's like to be on a small ship where you don't get quarters, you get bunks. You don't have large hallways or a snazzy holodeck like everybody else does. You're used to jumping around the stars in a ship that accommodates barely over 100 crew members. And somehow, the Excelsior class, though significantly larger, carries with it that same level of charm. It has that old school Starfleet feel to it. A lot of the systems here are all updated. So the bridge looks very similar to what you would see on board, say, a Sovereign class and such. However, the schemes and such that you have laid across the L cars, including some of the design conceits of where the captain's chair sits and such, all of it looks very old school, like an old bridge layout. And you're aware that this particular bridge has been in service for over 83 years. This ship is the last serving Excelsior class in Starfleet, and it's very accurate to call it a beautiful relic of a past age. With that, as you take your station at tactical, what is everyone else up to on the ship right now? Do you guys have any activities that you are particularly getting up to before you all leave space dock?
I'm sending out some correspondence to one Teclinatus.
Okay. Well, I'm going to assume,
Yeah.
let's do this. I'm going to assume that you've done that because if y'all are getting
Yeah,
ready
that's the
to,
only thing.
yeah, because
You
if y'all
really
are
did
getting
this.
ready,
I'm just, yeah.
okay. In which case, right now, everyone's reporting to duty stations. So this is actually a perfect opportunity as you send off your message to this Chief Tech Lenatus. You head up to the bridge because you're about to pilot this ship. You're about to helm this ship out of space dock.
Yeah.
Will this be the first time you've actually been sitting at the con for the USS Pride?
No, she's flown this ship before.
Okay, so this is
Yeah.
going to be very familiar.
Mhm.
Again, as the turbolift doors open, stepping on to the bridge, it's not your security officer standing behind the tactical station. Lieutenant
Commander
Shirali
Taeyon.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Aeon's head whips round to see Tavine and immediately is on their feet and I think shows way less restraint than they did with the captain, and I think just pulls Tavine into a hug.
You get like tiny little taps on your elbows as like the hug in return from her.
Like,
I
sorry,
was unaware that you were aboard. Well, that was her hug. She's hugging you. It's just very gentle.
I was unaware that you were on board. So many familiar faces, first the captain, now you. Honestly, I was just thinking when I saw especially this bridge, that you'll love something like this.
I enjoy it quite a
love
bit.
the whole
I guess I
thing.
was stationed here after we flew together many years ago. I don't
remind
not
me.
like to count. No. Yes, I'm returning to the Pride.
That's two familiar faces. That's incredible. Okay, well, I'm the deputy chief security officer. Shryla, Commander Shryla seems ill, and I kind of look to the captain as I say that. So they're at the med bay right now, so I'm taking their post for now.
You're a permanent fixture on the ship?
Yeah.
This is delightful news.
And I think
I look forward to seeing you around.
And I think I just found out who to delegate your tour to.
Me, Captain.
Yes, that's the input. I think we're good to start running final checks.
Sounds good.
Yes, Captain. I will go find my seat.
Commander Hala, as this has all been happening
Hata.
aboard. I'm sorry?
Hata.
Hala. Hala. All right, so Hata. Yeah, Commander Hata, as you are sitting at the operations station, as this is all happening, you see the indicator letting you know that a certain Admiral Grotto Krom is hailing the USS Pride right now.
Oh. Captain,
Yes.
we're getting a hail from an admiral. Would you like it privately or here on the bridge?
Well, I don't think I'm in trouble, so why don't we just share it here on the bridge?
All right. And I'll put it through.
Okay. You see coming up on the view screen, the Admiral in his office. The flag's the Federation behind, much like my background. The Tellarite gives you a warm smile and says, Captain, I hear you're taking off soon, so I just wanted to bid you good luck on your mission. I know the lot's riding on the testing of this Peregrine fighter wing that you got on board.
Yeah, we have everything in the fine hands of Lieutenant Commander Cadence, and I think everything is just going to be fine with that wing. I can't wait to show you all the final results once we start building use cases for it.
He eyes you for a moment, and you see his demeanor shift as he says, I don't think you have much to worry about, Captain. I don't think anyone's actually paying any attention to the results of this test. But Success all the same.
Thank you. And if there's one thing I can tell you, Admiral, cadence is very difficult to ignore.
That's a ambiguous comment to make about a officer, but I'll take your word for it.
This wing is their project. They're the one heading it. If they're the one in charge, then they will be noticed.
Well, Captain, you're about the most exciting thing that's headed into Starbase 16 these past 3 weeks. All we've been doing is loading things and unloading things for all the supply missions that have been coming and going out of Romulan space. So I'm taking a little bit of an interest in what's going on board the Pride. It's not too often we get an old girl like you flying into space dock, but I should probably level with you about this. Admiral Rollins' project isn't really taken very seriously out there, and I'm wishing the best of luck for all of you, but I just don't feel like you've got anything to prove. I think just getting you out of the gate was the real accomplishment. You go have yourself a good time out there at that asteroid belt you're headed to.
Will do, Admiral. Thank you again.
Starbase 16 out. Cuts off.
You all heard that?
As you say that, you glance over. There are 2 Vulcans on this bridge right now. And yet, the sassy eyebrow raise that you are getting from Lieutenant of Raleigh, who is looking at the view screen and was not amused by anything that was being said, would have probably outshone both Vulcans. As soon as you glance around and see a Raleigh just turns back to their station.
Well, it looks like we're all in accordance. Let's run final checks. I'm gonna page cadence.
Okay.
All right, reset the simulation. Just a moment. Hold. Where Cadence is right now is in the holodeck, drilling the baby birds. We have gotten the astrometric data of the Gelem-Tiv system and have been practicing with each pilot in a different ship with randomized positions for the markers.
Okay.
In order to prepare every eventuality.
Okay.
This has been going. How far into Alpha Shift are we?
This is the beginning. So if you want to say that the end of the previous shift is how long you've been
good.
going.
3 hours then. It's been going 3 hours.
Okay.
Yes, Captain.
We're doing final checks and making our way to our destination. Do you have everything packed and ready to go?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can make sure everything is strapped down in here, because if anyone falls out of their ship, I will check with Deck Chief Santos and clear the nest before Big Bird takes off.
All right. Just checking. I'm going to cut the line and...
Okay.
5, 6, 7, 8. They'll run it again. Confirm everything strapped down with Santos.
Santos is having issues right now because you were all supposed to conduct this mission. He has not been given any kind of guidance as to what to do with these gadgets, and nobody has activated them. But yet they're supposed to be an integral part of this mission, and no one's touched them. So when you go over to Santos, the moment he sees you approaching, he looks up from his data pad and goes, "Look, I don't know what else you've got to do before you guys head out, but as far as I'm concerned, the gadget is y'all's responsibility. And if it blows up as soon as you all get out there, that's what you get for not checking these things."
Does it load like a normal torpedo?
It fits on the bottom. It looks like it's supposed to attach to points. You see a modification that has been made to the very belly of the peregrine. It's quite sleek looking. It almost looks like a chamber, like something like an extended. If somebody was trying to put a deflector dish, but blend it seamlessly into the hull, so it just kind of comes sloping out. It looks almost like a torpedo bay launcher at first, but it looks like this thing doesn't necessarily launch out. It looks like it's a docking bay that it just inserts and slides into, kind of clips in.
All
And he
right.
says, we can load them all up. I mean, we're supposed to, but I don't know what happens after that.
What systems do they hook into?
They plug directly into each individual Griffin. It looks like they've been assigned to each peregrine into itself. That one's yours. And he points at the one that you saw the last time you went out that's still sitting on the deck. He says, so I don't know. It might be that they're queued into each individual system and they need to be synced.
Okay, I'll take a look over this one. Why don't we just strap them down for takeoff? We can worry about it when we're in warp.
He shrugs. Sure.
All right. I'm gonna look at it.
Once again,
Make a bit of a face of it.
It's about 3 meters long. At least the casing that it's in is about 3 meters long. It's currently partially open. It has 2 chambers on the inside that's holding this device that, again, looks like a miniature, almost looks like a micro photon torpedo. Sloped and angular. Basically looks like a very long angular egg that's just been kind of pulled out. It has this red grooved line going down the center. Otherwise, it's completely glossy black and has no other features. You can see that the case that it's in almost looks exactly like the thing itself.
So where are the controls for it to hook into a ship system? I'm trying to figure out, does this go into the flight controls? Am I controlling it that way? What is the hookup here? If I have, presumably schematics on a pad.
Opening the schematics on your pad, you see these blueprints start to pop up. The first thing you see is that it's called the Experimental Gidget System. And it has Daystrom Institute's logo all over it. And the first thing that pops up is a quick readout where you see a graphic of the thing itself kind of flipping and turning and spinning and indicating what it can do. This little device apparently has enough power to actually keep up with the Peregrine fighter at full impulse power. So if you go zipping along, it can follow right after you. It apparently comes equipped with what would appear to be on this data pad, miniaturized pattern enhancers that are simply being referred to as tags. This you remember reading about. These things apparently fire out of the front end of this thing and have a range of about 30 meters. They can attach to something and enhance its pattern for beam out. So easy to angle it and point it through. You can imagine already, Cadence, if this thing had to sort of stick its nose in a door and shoot this thing at somebody who's behind maybe debris that couldn't get out. And perhaps there was a transporter interference. This could get them out. It also comes equipped with the aforementioned technology that you've heard the exocomps use. So you see that it has what looks like on that smooth surface, it uses holographic technology to create tools ranging from just about every tool that are handheld here on the deck of the Excelsior. Essentially can function as a repair bot if you needed it. For example, even if Griffon 1 was damaged, this little guy might actually be able to pop around and do some quick repairs on the hull. Also has the ability to use a torch. It can weld through just about any metal that a handheld torch could cut through.
Yeah, we're not good for duratanium, but short of that.
Yeah, you're not going to get through any it might be able to cut through a bulkhead if it's given plenty of time. But of course, underneath all the specs of what its possibilities are, you note that it's been experiencing power fluctuations. Largely because it is a lot of power packed into a small little device. But it's currently set in an unusual mode that's just called default receiving mode. ready for activation. And that is when you notice that Caitlin just doesn't want to play with us anymore.
Oh, I noticed that so long ago.
Yeah.
I think
That's kind of, I don't know if you
I'm,
noticed a little bit of tension between
Right. Yeah.
Taveen.
Caitlin's gone full method right now.
It's only logical.
What you notice at the very bottom of this data pad is a sequence, a number sequence that's queued up and synced to what looks like your file number for your as an officer in Starfleet.
Okay. You know,
Basically, it
yeah.
basically like Bluetooth connection here to activate.
Last thing I'm gonna do is become some back in my day. We warped uphill both ways, afraid of power fluctuating technology. For what it's worth, it's about the power fluctuations. Please don't take it personal to this device. But I'm not gonna let that scare me. All right, let's fire you up. See what we can do. Commander Cadence, Captain.
Captain.
All accounted for down on deck. If these new experimental toys ruin everything, blame Daystrom.
Noted. All right, we're getting ready to head off.
All right.
You hear the bosun's whistle indicating that the USS Pride is about to depart. It sounds off across every deck of the ship. Can't whistle today. And I still have my bosun's whistle, by the way, that I got on Callisto 6. So as this is happening, you can hear on the outer exterior of the hull, even through at this far down the hull of the ship, you can hear the moorings being cleared as she starts getting ready to leave space dock. That sort of like distant cracking, echoing sound that only this Excelsior class seems to make because of its compatibility with some of the modern day docking systems. It just hears this. It's a little louder than your typical starship, which just kind of quietly and seamlessly detached from Starbase. As that's happening, you go ahead and start tapping in the code to activate this thing. You see, as you get to the final sequence, you see along the spine of this strange, like narrow egg-shaped device, what looks like on both sides, 5 elongated rectangles of light that are underneath the surface of that black gloss begin to light up and flicker back and forth, almost like a little light show. Greens, reds, blues, and then they all synchronize. You see them kind of flow into a single pattern, and then they blink in unison, and then they slowly dim down to a deep red. And a few moments later, it just goes and hovers up and remains there for a moment. And you see once again those rectangles of light begin to flicker and fluctuate. A few moments later, slowly turns in your direction and hovers over to you and starts speaking. You hear like these rattling of chirping sounds moving off of it. A few moments later, a language starts to roll off of it, which takes your universal translator a few seconds to realize that it is going through language modes right now until it accesses on the data pad, syncing up with Lieutenant Commander Cadence. You catch a couple of words of Vulcan, and then you hear Federation Standard. Synced.
Either would have worked. Hello?
Hello, Lieutenant Commander Cadence. I'm Gidget, awaiting your name.
I think you already had it, Lieutenant Commander Cadence.
Flickering of light.
I hope
In
you didn't
Vulcan,
need a last name. It becomes
switching
the whole
languages
thing.
over to Vulcan, it says, awaiting my name.
I thought you already told it to me, also in Vulcan.
Flickering again. Back to Federation Standard. Model. Gidget is model number. Gidget is model type.
All right. I'll look around. Is anybody else watching this?
No. You see people seem completely disinterested as this thing is hovering in front of you. No one's really paying much of attention. Not even Santos, who's in the process of having what looks like a very frustrating conversation with one specialist, Yetiv Wesot.
Okay, not getting that involved at all. Cool, great. I'll just post up on a cargo crate then. You know, names typically reflect something about people. What can you tell me about you?
It's dead silent.
All
you
right.
see is the blinking lights of the rectangles along the side.
What are your directives? Let's start there.
You see the data pad start to just flood with command operants.
Okay,
All these
all right.
operations of permutations of orders you can give this device starts to flood across the data pad.
Okay. All right, you have a couple of these. Anything kind of sticking out at me? Is that right?
It begins to maneuver around you suddenly. And you see
Oh,
this red light. This red light begin to slowly scan you.
I mean, it's polite to ask first, but go ahead.
As it's done, it says, not detecting any anomalous items or objects sticking out from you, Commander.
I put a hand up onto the drone. Got it. Nope. I have a sister just like you. This is fine. I can work with this. All right, Peaches. Come on.
Follows after you. You immediately see that it syncs up as you walk over to Griffon 1. It syncs up with the docking bay. Inside that docking bay at the belly of the Peregrine fighter, you see an ambient glowing blue light, an indicator, almost like a landing track. It begins to light up. And immediately it just goes and docks. It just slides back into the Peregrine and goes.
All right. That's how you do it. All right. So, are you comms responsive from my ship?
Yes, Commander.
Any sort of controls I'm maneuvering at all or have any degree of control, or did Daystrom consider my agency superfluous to our operation?
I'm sorry, Commander. That is not an operation that is within my command limits. Please specify.
Do you do what you do on your own, or is there some kind of joystick maneuvering we can work with together? Because I do much better when I'm a hands-on kind of pilot, and you don't even have wiring that's hooking in here.
Currently, I have no record of your flying style, speed, or... Forgive me, Commander. I have it now. Minion War veteran. Flew in the Battle of Cardassia. There are no flight records with your dynamics on file, Commander. I'm afraid I'm going to have to imprint. It will take some time.
How many flight hours?
Unknown. This system is experimental.
Real or will simulated do?
I'm sorry, Commander. I don't have that information.
You want to try?
I'm sorry, Commander. I cannot self-determine. Would you like me to try?
Just like my sister. All right. Yes. Let's go. Bare minimum, you'll startle all my baby birds. They're in the sim training right now.
I'll be using birds as target practice then. It detaches. Which type and species of avian should I be looking for, Commander?
No, these will be metaphorical birds. These are not targets. We are not targeting the baby birds. The baby birds are to be kept safe.
Forgive me, Commander. I have no weapons on board. Target practice is rescue practice.
Exactly. Our orders for this search and rescue operation somehow include you, so I think it's probably a little more involved than just spotting the probe. So I don't know, maybe you're laser tagging on this? I'm not supposed to see the directives ahead of time, so we'll drill all contingencies, I guess. I am talking to a drone.
It says
Thank you,
nothing as it
Daystrom.
hovers.
Thank you, Daystrom. All right. Come on, Peaches. We got some baby
Hovers
birds
after
to
you.
startle.
Hovers after you.
Just into the turbo lift.
Mm-hmm. Couple of
Just-
people just move out of the way, kind of looking at this thing as it kind of moves past. It is not small. This thing is designed to function and fly next to a peregrine fighter. So this is roughly about half the size of your body as it's just hovering behind you. As it moves past them, there is a sudden whirring sound. I'm going to spend a point of threat.
Good, yeah.
And just as you all move into the turbo lift, there is a power spike in its motivator. And this large half-scaled torpedo thing slams into your back, Cadence, as you're leading it into the turbo lift. Just as the turbo lift doors are starting to close, it goes, and the turbo lift shoving you into the turbo lift and startling the hell out of two ensigns that were stepping out of it just as the doors close. It says nothing as it just hovers there. It is going to deliver 2 points of stress to you.
Yep.
It was not a nice hit.
It was not. I don't prefer that. Ow. Cracked a bit in my spine, though.
Do you require medical assistance, Commander?
No.
It hovers there silently. You get the feeling that it's processing what you're saying because every single time you speak to it, you notice these rectangles begin to fluctuate and react. Keeping in mind, too, that these rectangles are standing. Like these lights are like standing on the sides. They're not going down the length of this thing. They're just kind of like little bit of these rectangles just moving along the length, like staying on the side, like horizontal, like vertical stripes, basically.
Either of you kids remember which deck Holodeck 2's on?
One of the ensigns that's kind of in the corner says, sorry, Commander, I'm new. The other one says, I just got here.
All right. Okay, bitches, we're going to execute a binary search algorithm. Let's go to deck 2 and get started.
All right. Meanwhile, up on the bridge, moorings have been cleared. I am going to have, at 1/4 impulse, I'm going to have...
Not out of dock.
Not out of space dock.
No.
However you want to do it, it's all you, Tavine.
Mm-hmm.
It's all you, Captain. Space doors are currently in the process of opening. You see that great blanket of crisp diamonds against the black backdrop of the starry sky waiting for you on the other side of those space doors as soon as they start sliding open. And you hear Starfleet, Starbase 16 saying, USS Pride, this is Starbase 16 Control. You are cleared to depart.
Engaging aft thrusters, Captain. Departure angle on view screen. We will be free and clear to navigate in about 100,000 kilometers, and she will press us out of space dock.
Okay. Let's do this. Let's build some momentum because y'all are going to need it for what's coming up. So go ahead and give me a control plus con difficulty 0.
Okay.
And whoever wants to roll for the Pride, it's engines plus con.
I have helm operations, I assume, will work as a focus.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Right. I'm sorry. For the Pride, it's structure plus con. Oh, no, it is engines plus con. I apologize. It is engines plus con. Yeah.
All right, I'll roll Pride then. Oh,
all right, go ahead.
Captain?
Difficulty is 0.
Oh, no, I was going to say, would you like to roll Pride?
That's okay.
Okay.
We can do it another time.
Just double check. All right, go for it.
Nah, it should have been Hata. We learned from these. I have no business being involved in a warp roll. I knew better. That's on me. I apologize, Captain.
As the Pride goes slamming into the side of space dock and creating a massive catastrophic damage and going as the warp breaches.
Well, Tavine crit, so we get.
Okay, cool. Go ahead and tack on those momentum. You guys, 2 momentum. And just like that, the USS Pride slips out of space dock. Putting on quite a show for folks who are watching this old Excelsior class, this refit class slip past the space cargo doors. And as you move past the space doors, you exit out into the sector that awaits you. Up on head of the view screen, you can see the stretch of nebula across the sky and the display coming up on helm, indicating where you are headed. The system that you're headed towards right now, travel time to Gelem Tive is 4 hours at warp 5.
We are.
Oh, go ahead.
Nope, you go for it.
Nope, you go for it.
I was just going to say, Captain, we are free and clear to navigate, engaging impulse engines. Warp speed, Captain?
Hata, what do you think? 5?
Sounds good, Captain.
All right. You heard the XL?
Setting us a course at warp 5. At your word, Captain.
All right. Swing.
Yes, sir.
Good catchphrase. That's your
He's
warp.
boxer.
All right. And with that, USS Pride, the engines, nacelles explode into this beautiful blue light. She elongates and leaps to warp. You see the threshold pass, this brilliant flash on the view screen, and you see that beautiful view screen of just stars flying past you as you all engage warp. Travel time about 4 hours. You guys have time if you would like to take any scenes right now and doing any of your duty shift activities. Otherwise, we can simply cut to the system.
I think Taeyeon will take the moment to speak to Bean.
Okay.
And you can tell it's very informal. They kind of walk over to Tavine and just, I guess, lean by their chair and just go, so have you been? It's been a very long time. We still keeping up the martial arts?
Not as frequently as I assume you would prefer, but on occasion. I had a very enlightening conversation with our captain this morning. And it seems he is a fan of boxing. I assume the two of you could bond over.
That would be lovely. I mean, if you haven't been training for a while, I could definitely, like old times, spar a little bit. We can get the captain involved if they are interested during downtime, obviously.
When the ship is at rest, I have nothing to do, so I assume leisure time will be available to us. That could be agreeable. And you get like a little like eyebrow quirk from her that is just like her being like, I'm being so Vulcan right now. She's usually a little more chill, but you could tell that she's like kind of teasing you with like
No, yeah.
all of her Vulcan words.
Mhm.
She doesn't usually use with you.
Heon just again, maybe weird on a Vulcan's face, just smiles at this. It's really good to see you, Taveen.
It is good to see you as well. You've been on the Javelin this entire time?
Yes, I think my time with Javelin came to the proper end. I'm glad I just get to do a bit more for study.
I am pleased to have you aboard the Pride. She's a special ship. I think you will grow to enjoy your time here as well.
They look around and say, I'm already loving it here. It's in strange, hard to replace ways. It reminds me of the Javelin, so already feels like home.
That is good to hear.
Did you know the captain was actually on the Javelin not too long ago? It's
I did not.
an incredible thing. Yeah, no, they were part of the security team that I was chief of. It's incredible to see them at captain status now, but I'll be honest, I never expected it.
You get another eyebrow quirk at that.
Yeah, the two of you unaware of the scuttlebutt on the ship. So maybe one or two of you catches a peculiar look in your direction as maybe one of the ensigns of the ops crew or perhaps somebody on the bridge just hears y'all talking and doesn't say anything but does glance in your direction.
Aaron just gives a small, like, kind of wave.
You do get some peculiar looks as you kind of give an awkward wave. See a Vulcan doing this, kind of catches a few of the crew members off guard and just smiles and wave back.
I see you still do it on purpose.
Yeah.
You know it startles them.
Well, it's uncomfortable having to, not a fan of it.
I wouldn't ask you to do it. I find it amusing.
Thank you. I'm glad my mannerisms entertain you, Taveen.
Not your mannerisms. That you will tease the other crew with it. I find that amusing.
It is funny seeing them unsure how to react.
That it is.
I won't leave you be. I think I won't put the job of giving me a tour on you, and I think I'll just take a walk around. Get used to
I
the
don't
ship.
mind. I don't mind the tour. I'm, again, very familiar with it.
In that case, Taveen, would you give me a tour of the ship?
I would find that very agreeable, Lieutenant Commander. I'll find you after shift.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, as this trip continues, Cadence, you are, to give a quick summary of what you're experiencing, Cadence, this Gidget drone is clearly factory reset. And you're realizing that the difficulties you're having with it is still trying to adapt to complex questions. You realize you have to keep it pretty simple right now as it's starting to slowly learn and adapt. But what you get is that the Gidget apparently has the ability to, after enough flight hours, will start learning how to anticipate your flight techniques and your maneuvers and your choices, so that it'll be able to anticipate how you fly, much like a pilot does who flies with their wing. So the simulator seems to help a little bit and give it a baseline. You don't think it's going to have problems catching up with you because you're not anticipating doing any high speed maneuvers in an asteroid field. You don't know what you're up against, and you never know, you may run behind the clock, but you don't anticipate it. But this thing should be all right keeping up with you. The main thing that you're getting from this thing is going to give you something of an edge on finding those hard to reach places. Specifically, This is probably going to enhance your chances of finding those beacons that you're all going to launch when you get there pretty quickly. You essentially are sort of the nose sensors for the USS Pride. This thing is going to be kind of yours. So the sensors on board the Gidget seem to be pretty decent. And in fact, when the Gidget is activated, the Peregrine that you are flying gets a +1 automatic crew bonus to science. Goes up by 1 when it is activated. Which I think brings it to 2.
Depends on the bird in question.
It's true. I think yours was at 1, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, but none of us. We are all training on all the birds.
Yeah. So each one has one that's dedicated to its specific. Yours, Griffon 1, looks like it has been. This particular drone looks like it has been outfitted to sort of be the Swiss Army knife of these drones. It's not specialized in any one thing. It just kind of does everything pretty decently. The one thing that it does have that's a little different than the other drones is it looks like it's outfitted with a more powerful propulsion to keep up with you. Yeah, you can kind of smell the Admiral all over that one.
Yeah,
You can look at this thing and you're like, you're pretty sure Rollin was giving them notes.
Yeah, put some juice into this one, right, Dev? I'm trying. We're gonna find one. It's gonna work. I don't think Dev wasn't it. We'll go again.
But yeah, with that, we can say that the Pride continues. Did you have anything else that you wanted to do, Cadence?
Oh, I did want to make my command team aware of these because we are about to coordinate.
Okay. Yeah, if y'all want to have a staff meeting, that is totally on to prepare for the mission. You can absolutely pull that if you would like.
Yeah, I'd like to call up Hata, who at minimum would know what to do, and if there were a staff meeting, then to arrange that. I don't know if the protocol on this ship, Commander, is to have devices like this checked out by security or engineering and security. And then I remembered you're actually also ops, so please help.
Oh, so when you received it, there's been no security checks since then?
Not. I think if there had been security in the hangar, Santos would have been in my ear about it. So I'm going to go with no.
Okay, I will schedule that immediately. And yes, we can do a senior staff meeting if you'd like to discuss.
Yeah, I mean, certainly at some point before arrival, but if there's anything that needs to be done to this little, not little.
Hata starts circling it, and you can see her become very engrossed in this thing.
It just kind of hovers there.
Ah, it's very sleek. Well made.
Say hello, Pat Pat.
It is dead silent. You see you just see some of the lights fluctuating underneath the surface.
It's shy. I swear. I know how it's going to sound. I swear it talks.
I'm sure it does.
Oh god. Okay, it's gonna be like this. Traitor.
Just hovers there, making a low hum sound.
Can I do like an observation-y type of insight? I just want to give it a once over, walk around it, give it a once over.
Sure.
With
What
my
are you
operations lens?
What would you like to determine about it?
Any type of operative elements that I might recognize, like the energy systems or the way it's wired or that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I would say go ahead and make a reason science check.
Okay.
But I think I would also allow, because of your background and what you're trying to do, I think I would also let an engineering check.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Do that instead. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
All right.
Difficulty is 1.
Okay. 1 success.
Okay. Hata, you move around this thing as it just hovers passively. almost completely unresponsive, except for the glittering rectangles, of course, underneath the surface. As you move past it, move around back, you can't help but think that you're pretty sure the casing of this device was probably modified from a decommissioned probe of some kind. In other words, if you didn't know any better, you would say this thing looks pretty sleek and scientific, but you get the impression that Daystrom was probably pulling parts from something that had been decommissioned to build a new AI, essentially to incorporate into these fighters. So this doesn't look like it's necessarily from top of the line parts, but it definitely looks like it's top of the line ingenuity.
Cool.
You kind of wonder if maybe this isn't somebody's science project.
Hata like stoops over, looks up at the lights. Is there do I recognize any pattern in the blinking?
With someone with your background, you would probably recognize that it serves the function of letting know systems are functioning, but it also seems to function as it responds to the both of you speaking. You get the impression that it is currently processing data and observing, and seems to be active, like it's actively absorbing and scanning and constantly, you think, maybe pinging its surroundings. It's not
Learning.
talking, but it is very active.
Listening and learning. You have yourself a new toy here.
Knew something. What exactly? I would really rather not have tested first time out. We're gonna put a power fluctuating device on the Paragriffins for a time test.
I'm as curious as you are, but we'll see.
Commander, it suddenly pivots. Is there a power fluctuation that I need to attend to?
See, I told you. Do you remember the fluctuation that happened earlier in the lift? I have a thoracic spine that sure does, if you need a reminder.
My records do not show that the turbolift suffered any sort of power fluctuation, Commander.
Nope, it was not the turbolift. It was you.
It hovers quietly.
I'm not mad. Just do some diagnostics or something, okay?
Running
It
diagnostics.
startled me. It kind of hurt.
What level diagnostic would you like me to run, Commander?
It's a power fluctuation. Level 2 ought to do it.
Level 2 diagnostic.
And Hata will tap her communicator and say, Commander Ben to tactical and to
One at a
security. Please schedule a security and a tactical diagnostic at your earliest convenience. In which cargo bay is this? Cargo bay?
Main cargo bay. Yeah.
Main cargo bay.
The good news is, in truth, the Excelsior refit, you got one cargo bay.
One big one, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we just knocked all the walls out of it, and that's
You
why
got
it's expansive now.
on these older ships, there was a single cargo bay.
We can fit a lot of junk in our trunk.
All of a sudden, you hear just cutting in. Software diagnostic complete. Initiating step 2 of level 2 diagnostic. And it goes, and hovers down low to the ground and goes, the hissing sound as all of these panels begin to open up. Standby mode activated. And it powers down. All the lights begin to just go into a soft blink. Blink. And you can see these panels are open as it just kind of sits there. And then it starts to kind of roll off to the side a little bit.
Oh, whoa. Easy. Catch.
Yeah.
Uh,
Is its
Aiden's-
casing here and open?
Yeah, it has 4 panels that open on the top of it. Cadence, as you reach down to like put your hands on this thing, it is heavier than you expected, way heavier. As it starts to tip over to the side, it starts feeling a little bit like trying to stop a car that's brakes aren't working properly, and it starts to kind of weigh you off to the side. You manage to barely keep it upright. One of the deckhands sees you struggling with it and comes rushing over immediately and helps.
Yeah,
All right.
Hata also is going to help with
Thank
that.
you.
It
Thank you.
is,
Ooh.
yeah. As soon as the 3 of you are now like steadying the Gidget, it is heavy. This thing weighs a ton.
You are thick, Ron. Whew. So, got any good hollows lately?
No. Have you?
No. I was hoping you had.
Santos comes over at this point and glances down at everyone just holding this, talking about hollows, and goes, "What the hell is going on here, sir?" Commander, sorry, I didn't see you there, Commander.
Innovation, Santos. It's innovation.
Innovation.
Yep.
What is this thing doing?
Diagnosing. Careful.
Diagnosing. It looks like it's in standby. What's it diagnosing?
Why it's like this.
He glances over it and says, clicks on a light and starts shining it down. Why did it pop open its panels like that? Did you do something to this thing?
I think I have a theory here. It didn't say why it did that, but I think once I ordered 2 diagnostics, it decided to make itself open and available.
Oh, what level diagnostic did you order?
I didn't. I will just let tactical and security decide when they get here.
Oh, wait. So nobody ordered a level diagnostic at all? They
Oh,
just
well,
did this?
yes. Commander
Oh.
Cadence.
That was me. Level 2.
That
Usually
was
what we do
power.
Yeah. So it's going to
Power
shut down, pop
fluctuations.
open its panels, and now it's expecting us to look inside of it to make sure it's okay. That's what this is.
Okay, so do you need to comment at me like that? Come on. That was
Right.
rude.
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
sure,
He reaches
okay.
inside and says,
Flight control systems have different levels of diagnostics than Gidget drones do. Should have known that, Caden.
"Look, I'm not
That's what you
saying to
sound
this
like.
thing. It's not going to respond to me. So you're going to have to be the one that turns it back on."
Peering in. I mean, it opened its panels to us.
Mhm.
We might
Yeah,
as
it
well
has 4
take a look
panels that open.
inside.
You peer inside. Yeah, you see a very complex network of circuitry and what looks like isolinear chips and such, all jammed inside of these small little ridges. And you also see what looks like a prototype of a small holographic photonic projector of some kind.
I'd like to pull out my tricorder.
Okay.
And scan it. Like I'd like to scan like a
Sure.
3D image of the inside of this.
Go ahead and make a quick roll. That's going to be Reason Science. Difficulty is 0.
Well, wait, difficulty 0. Oh yeah.
Difficulty 0?
Successes? Do we have any? We don't have any momentum, do we?
3.
We do.
We
yeah.
do.
Then we have aux points.
Yes, we do. We also have
One.
aux points.
I'd like to re-roll this whole thing.
You want to re-roll the whole thing?
Uh-huh.
Okay. One
Because
sec.
I want this scan to work.
That would be...
I guess if it's just difficulty 0, it does work. I just didn't get any successes.
Then yes, that's true. You wouldn't generate any momentum from this.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I might as well use an aux point to reroll.
Sure.
Okay.
So this aux point comes to you from Gonmog.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gonmog. Aux point has been spent,
Oh,
Cool name.
which gives you a
Worth
point
it.
of momentum. What'd you get?
I got a 7 and a 5.
Okay, one sec.
Does this fall within any of your focuses by chance?
No, because my science is 2. It's the lowest science I've ever had
before
for
you
any
roll
character
first,
this year.
as momentum cost
So
increases
weird.
each die, create a trait.
Oh wow.
Treatable.
Right? It's weird.
Reduce time. 2 momentum reduces time activity. If I'm not mistaken, you. One sec. Okay, repeatable. So if I'm not mistaken, it's not momentum that lets you re-roll unless you have a trait that gives it to you.
That's determination.
true.
That's determination.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it does say, yeah, it's determination. So you'd have to burn you have to burn a value if you wanted to do a re-roll to succeed at this.
Do you mean, but what about ox points? We're not
Ox
using
points.
them for that?
Ox points are a free point of momentum that you can gain that you have to spend immediately. It's like a
Oh,
bonus
I
point
see.
of momentum.
Oh,
Yeah.
well then,
you-
yes, I
could the-
would like to burn a value. I'll create one right now. So sorry.
I was gonna say, could you have spent enough momentum to buy 2 extra dice? That would have been the 2 die that you rolled. Is that feasible?
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Breaking out some Ferengi arguments there.
Uh-huh.
Player opinion rules.
Hey,
Yeah.
listen, Ferengi arguments are powerful because they are based in some kind of logical making sense.
So that would be 3 momentum, which
1
we
for your
had.
die.
Okay.
Yeah. Plus, you spent an ox point, so
Yeah.
so we have 1 left now. Correct.
So I do want to note here, and I'm totally down to do this, but I do want to note here that the rules specifically state you have to burn momentum before the roll is made. So I'm totally down to do it this time, though, because we're refreshing, so it's no big deal.
Mhm.
But yes, you can go, and plus y'all need the momentum, so go ahead and get it. You'll get that momentum, and
Done.
Gonmog gives you that. So then looking over this thing and running a quick tricorder scan, your instincts were correct, Commander. This thing looks like you were picturing it in your head. Rear Admiral Rollin must have found like the kids at Daystrom, like their first years, and said, "The brass is not giving me what I need. How would you like to get a project from an admiral on your first year?" Because as you're looking inside, you see what to you, as somebody who specializes in operations, looks like a perfect ballet of brilliant out-of-the-box thinking and total mess. Like, you can see the inexperience, but you can also see a type of engineering that is not limited to any kind of mediocre thought. Nobody did this by the book as you're glancing through it. Lots of this looks like it was added on and continuously stacked on and on and on and on and on. And you get the impression by the time you're done giving it a scan that the AI of this Gidget is basically at its 0. It is currently learning how people talk, and it is currently learning how everything processes. You're not sure what the extent is. You do know that Starfleet has strict regulations on AI and its development, so that AI it has a much significantly reduced chance of ever achieving sentience, and this is all part of assuring that ethical standards are met when it comes to creatures that are devices that are created in service for Starfleet. By the way, something that has been heavily advocated for, and 2 of the central members of that movement are a hologram known as the Doctor, and a former Captain Hologram now teaching dance at Starfleet Academy, named Exio. This thing looks like it is that level of AI, where it's just in the early stages of absorbing data. It looks like it has the baseline understanding of exactly how to operate once a mission is engaged, but it's still trying to pass a personality profile on Cadence, and it's having a lot of difficulty. You get the impression just from the readings of this tricorder is that Cadence talks to themselves enough that it's having difficulty understanding if it's being spoken to, and it's kind of just randomizing when it responds to create like a base study of, was this good or bad? Okay, then I know to respond here. It is a fledgling bird. So-
Also, I'm sure your universal translator will yield, we are speaking to each other in Vulcan because that was how a conversation could happen.
Mm.
So, translator, you know it either way, but I think it probably cues you.
Also worth noting, it does not have a single weapon system on it. The power system that it is using, the power core that it is using, is quite powerful. And judging from the look of it, it doesn't have enough regulators on it. So that when this thing moves forward, it doesn't really differentiate between when it needs to accelerate to, say, exit a flying peregrine fighter or maybe enter a turbo lift. It does have an idea that it needs to decelerate if it goes too fast. In other words, Cadence could have been a lot more injured. That could have been a lot worse. Walking down the corridors with this thing might be dangerous right now.
Commander, would you mind if I made some adjustments just to make this a bit safer for use on the ship?
What kind of adjustments?
Well, I noticed that it's not going to be able to adjust its speed in a short amount of time. It's more calibrated to do that outside when there's lots of space. But on the ship, it could just go too fast and crash into things.
Well,
I could put some limiters on that.
temporary limiters,
Well,
right?
yes.
I mean, it's no way to learn,
The
right?
limiters
Just kind of make the safety lines for it. It's gotta.
Let me explain. The limiters would be software based so that it would feed into the AI itself and it will learn how to use the limiters. It won't like permanently limit the speed.
She's giving it brakes. She's not putting a shackle on it.
Exactly.
It'll learn how to limit its power output.
It's like a lesson.
Training wheels.
Well, at least one of us will learn to limit our power output.
I'm glad to hear you're
Commander.
becoming self-aware, Commander.
Yeah, you know what happens after they become self-aware? They attack. Thank you.
Well, Commander, if you want any help with the putting the devices in to help it regulate that speed, I'm more than happy to help you do that. Pretty much my entire day is dedicated to making sure this one doesn't crash all the peregrines before they even get underway with the mission.
Oh, sure. I'm just going to wait for security and tactical to get here for their diagnostics, and then I'll do the update after that.
Okay.
Just so we can get an initial assessment.
So, quick overview, when a security team does show up, the initial assessment is that this thing is exactly as you have scanned it to be. It is a small little helpful worker drone device that is very much in the experimental stage of use. It has potential being incredibly useful, but it might have actually shattered a vertebrae if it had gone any harder into that turbo lift. So it's a good thing that it's getting some love right now.
Yes.
Worth looking at the others as well. And with that, Santos just goes, all right, this is going to fall on me anyway, so I'll do it.
Okay, I'll start working on this one.
Okay. Easy enough.
How
You
many
get-
others are there, by the way?
There's a total of 6.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
It's cool.
Total of 6. All right.
All right.
I'm gonna also just radio up to the captain and tell him that
Captain, I'll be down here for a little bit doing some upgrades for Commander Cadence, but if you need me, I can come right back up. Just let me know. Say the word.
Will do.
Just as you say, will do. The helm chirps, and you look down, Commander Tavine, to see that you are now starting to enter the system. Specifically, you are now arriving at the Gellum Teve system. You're about 2 minutes away.
We're entering system, Captain.
All right, thank you for the update. I'll be sure to once we get to our destination, I'll be sure to let Lieutenant Cadence know so that they can begin preparations for their drills and their flight training.
I'm going to have a little fun here. Avrali, do me a favor and roll me And whoever wants to help with the USS Pride, Bavali, if you could please roll me a reason science check. And then whoever wants to roll sensors science for the Pride. And the difficulty of this is 4.
Yeah, get in there.
Yeah.
Sensor science.
Mhm.
Sensors.
All right, may I use momentum given that this is...
Yes, please.
Thank you so much.
Do keep in mind, I'm just going to give you guys fair warning right now. One of the reasons why I was pushing for the momentum spins is because the asteroid is considered difficult terrain. If the Pride is going to move through it at all, it's a momentum spend.
Hey, don't worry about it. Hey, don't
keep
even
that in mind.
freaking worry about that. No, don't worry about it. Don't
worry about it.
All right.
Hey, don't worry about it, Eric, because when I attempt a con task and increased difficulty due to environmental conditions or damage, it reduces the difficulty by 1. So
Okay.
Nice.
we're good. We got it.
Also, my
Can I-
Pathfinder, what is this?
Can I aid?
This is the science.
On this
computer
one,
roll
I'm going to
currently.
say there's no assist on
Yeah.
this one. It's
Gotcha.
just the ship and it's just the science officer this time.
And does the
Gotcha.
ship roll 1?
1 die, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Difficulty is 4.
Ooh.
No.
Oh.
No. Not even close.
Oh,
Dear God,
no.
no.
Okay.
Absolutely not. Not even a little. No.
Okay.
Oh, and a
Yes.
complication. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh,
Really?
Not even a
love it.
little. Not even a little. Like, 1 success and a complication. No.
Okay.
I'm going to use my commanding officer talent and
Yes.
spend a point of determination to grant any other character that I can communicate with 1 point of determination. This does not have to be linked to a value. So why don't we take a spin at that again?
Okay, so you're forcing the reroll on this?
Mm-hmm.
You're denying me my
Okay.
complication?
Yep. we're gonna blow up that 20.
That's support class, right? They ruin all your fun. Right, Eric? Okay, now we have 2 successes, so no complication. But since I didn't get under my department number, no.
What did the Pride roll?
1 success.
Oh, okay.
So we're at 3. We're 1
Um,
under.
Yeah, and the ship doesn't get like fun little focuses, huh?
Can the ship crit? I
Oh,
always
ship crits whenever it rolls under its department number, but I think our department
Same.
for science is not.
Yeah, I rolled a 4, so
Yeah,
Not
it's
quite.
unfortunately that's not going to do it, yeah.
just 1.
All right. Yeah.
3.
No, it's like that. Unless there's a science officer talent.
Mhm.
Does that apply to supports?
They oh, you mean if they have the if you're talking about if that's literally their bridge officer position, do they get the talent associated with that?
Yeah,
Yes.
because that's
Yep.
a thing.
You absolutely do.
All right. Someone got those offhand or on hand? Either one. I'm not picky.
looking 1 second.
Please hold. Your game is very important to us. And Captain, if I noticed the things I was saying to my console, I would really probably try to curb those a little. Because yeah, no, in retrospect, you know the universal trait, you know exactly what I'm saying. That's great. They're not polite. Those are not polite words.
All right, so your total
Did you
success
find it?
there-
Did you find it, Sam?
No.
Because I think I have it. I think I have it.
Yeah, do you have
Um,
a sensor?
Science officer. This is about the role. Role benefit. When you succeeded a task assisted by the ship's sensors, computers, a task using the tricorder or other sensing device, you may ask one additional question.
Alas,
as if you had
I
spent-
hoped. That
So
makes
you
sense.
got to find out
I
what
was
you
hoping
learned.
difficulty by 1. But
Yeah.
no.
For a brief second, as you were all starting to come out of warp near the system, you detect for the briefest of moments what looks like to be some kind of neutron radiation surge somewhere inside of the asteroid field.
Captain, no, belay that. Someone's being stubborn. You don't. Come on, we've worked with neutrons before. We've done so much spectrometry together. Don't embarrass me in front of the captain. I will have this for you, sir. I will have this for you so soon. The minute you decide to be nice to me. I thought we had rapport. You are making me look very bad, and I'm very embarrassed now. Okay, come on. Neutrons? Probably neutrons? Positrons? Oh, were you showing me positrons, you little sucker?
Quite the conversation happening over there.
Captain's just
Sounds
like,
watching with like a slight worried smile on their face.
"You get
They
used to it."
whip their head to the side, just like, it's fine.
Nothing's ever been more fine than it is right now.
Ever. Okay. So you detect this, what would appear to be almost like a small spike of radiation, neutron radiation. You don't even get an exact approximation of where it is. It's just it's detected passively on sensors for a brief moment. It's notable because it's incredibly random, and it is not in any way an indication of something that would be naturally occurring inside of an asteroid field. There'd be no reason for there to be a neutron radiation surge inside of an asteroid field. Just as you're coming out of warp, blinks out of existence the moment you guys just appears in the sensors and then it's gone.
Can I make a roll for Raleigh about sources of neutron radiation? Like,
You wouldn't
what
make a roll?
this could even plausibly be, like, just, listicle style?
It wouldn't necessarily be a roll. I think that would be your information spend that you would get for being science.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think you would just get the obtain information by default. Do you don't have to? Do you have to spend for that?
I believe you have to.
Only if I succeed a roll.
I believe you have to succeed for
Oh.
that.
See first.
Yeah. No, I was just trying to do a recall sort of roll.
Didn't you
Kinda
just
thing.
succeed a roll?
No, I failed.
No, we failed.
That was why I got the spike
It
and why
was
I was getting
4.
spiky.
Success
got
4,
3.
rolled 3.
Yeah.
Ah, that's right. Oh, you rolled 3. Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, I failed.
Okay. In which case, sure. Yeah. You would basically trying to put together what the heck a radiation surge would be doing out here in the middle of the asteroid belt. I would say, okay. Yeah, I would say that's definitely going to be a science check.
Yeah,
that would be a
feel
reason
normal,
science check.
reason science.
Difficulty is
I
1.
have an astrometric focus if that feels relevant.
Yes, it would be. What were you going to say, Noir?
I was gonna say before you go through with the roll, I'd like to use rally,
Okay.
which is you're going to show your comm and your sensors who's boss, but you got to take a deep breath and then go forward. It's not gonna get the best of you, and there's no reason for you to be embarrassed. You got this. So try it again.
Thank you, Captain. I agree. I have no reason to be embarrassed. I didn't do anything. I took a deep breath, just like the captain said. And they just hold their breath angry.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm taking a picture of this real quick.
Oh no.
Difficulty is
20,
what?
Oh no, double ones.
Oh, double ones. Okay.
Oh, okay. Then I'll take a momentum for this then.
Get the momentum.
I think I can afford it in this economy.
Does that get us? Does that get us 4 momentum?
Double ones is 4 successes.
4 successes? So that's 4 momentum?
Yeah, because the difficulty was 1. So you would actually
Okay.
get. So you
So
would
we
actually
maxed
get.
out?
You would get 3 additional.
3. Oh,
momentum.
3.
Yeah.
3 additional momentum.
So, here's what you know. If
I think it
Raleigh-
just generates for success, right?
Yeah, it's against the 0, so it's all of every success is a momentum for rally.
Oh, okay. So then this
So we
is
max
4.
out,
Okay, so you max out. All right.
and then Raleigh's going to take
And
one.
then probably
Okay.
take
So what you get is, as you're looking at this, going through all of your training at Starfleet Academy, neutron radiation is. You always have to take into account that space is going to have anomalies. You're always going to run into the weird and the unknown. You always have to remember that. typically neutron radiation is not naturally occurring and is typically used in reactors. That much you know. But neutron radiation could also appear if there's some kind of spatial anomaly that you guys have never encountered before. It seems unlikely, and your scientific mind, obviously, jumping to conclusions probably doesn't come naturally to you. But what you do have is this data set that typically neutron radiation is used in power sources and are not naturally reoccurring or not naturally occurring.
Okay. Oh, dang, I had an obtain, and now I forget. Any ships associated with it? Any ship types? For instance, there are spectral signatures associated with Romulan singularity engines.
Yeah, Romulan singularity drives do not typically exude any kind of neutron radiation. Theirs is a whole other. They mostly dip into gamma because of the enormous amount of power that they are using and actually harnessing the power of a micro singularity as a reactor. What you are getting from this is this is an obtained information spend. Is that correct?
Yeah, I spent.
There's been a number of species that the Federation is aware of that uses these. Any kind of reactor that uses neutron radiation is largely going to be probably I would not call it a very up-to-date vessel. It's an old type of technology that typically they don't use anymore. But there have been a couple, the species that the Federation has been aware of. Off the top of your head, the Xindi were known for using neutron radiation for their reactors. Also, Burrell-class birds of prey were known for having neutron reactor surges as well. There have been a few species that the Federation has come across that are not part of any of the major galactic governments. Suffice to say, you're not able to really pinpoint which ship it would be, but if it is a ship, you know for a fact that there are multiple older ship styles older chassis that do use these kinds of reactors that would leave a kind of signature. If that were true, though, how does that account for it disappearing suddenly? That's the next question.
At least one of them does. Very possibly. And last obtain, when was the last time the Federation was here, and what did they find? What's in our records about the last time someone was here?
This is in the Federation's backyard and is typically used as a training ground for starships that are running tests on either piloting helm systems or even sensor systems. The rocks out here are spacious enough, and it's a little more in keeping with the typical asteroid belt that you're going to be interacting with. The Federation likes using this area. It's not anywhere near a major neutral zone either. You are in the beta quadrant. You are on the other side of the beta quadrant, so you are tipping a little close to Klingon and Romulan space. However, this is deep enough in Federation space where that's not really something to concern yourself with, typically. But out here, mostly it's just think of this as like an old empty track that people run their car, that test speed their cars on. This system is a dead system. Pretty much every planet in the system is uninhabitable.
So Starfleet here in the past 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years.
The last time a Starfleet vessel was here was about 5 months ago.
5 months ago. Thank you. Okay, Captain, I can't explain the exact source of the spike of radiation that was there and then, and this is true, not there, but mostly those things come from older ships. An anomaly is certainly possible. You can't account for anomalies kind of by definition, but nothing like this was observed in previous records. Last time Starfleet came kicking cans around here 5 months ago.
All right. Well, at least now we have a couple. Now we have a few ideas of what to look for. Let's
or not look for. If it's a bird of prey, it could be cloaked. Hope that helps.
It does. Thank you, Lieutenant. Let's continue on course. And let's keep an eye on visuals as well as sensors.
See, it's nice to be helpful. You could just be helpful.
Are we concerned about yellow alert, Captain?
Raise yellow alert.
Okay. USS Pride goes to yellow alert. As the shields come online and defense screens are activated, the yellow blinking lights fill the hallways as everyone gets to their ready stations. It occurs to you in that moment, as you're glancing down at your science station, Evrali, that passive sensors is what detected the neutron surge to begin with, and a sensor sweep could be in order here, or maybe it's not necessary. There's debris in the asteroid field. A large quantity of debris. And it is not registering as rock. We're going to pause right there. Be back in 10 minutes.
Woo!
Science.
We'll see you there.
This is.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Last Excelsior. We're going to go ahead and jump right back in from our break. Where we left off is just as we were going to break, our chief science officer detected debris on the outskirts, not inside, but on the outskirts of the asteroid field itself. You were detecting clear signs that sensors do not require any kind of roll. You're detecting what looks like some kind of metal debris floating in a large field just before you reach the asteroid belts. It's about maybe 4,000 kilometers to starboard.
Captain, seems like that signal might come from the debris. 4 kilometers starboard, sending coordinates to helm.
Thank you, science. I'll put it on screen.
You're welcome.
Bringing it up on screen, you see indeed the obvious signs of a ship that has been shattered. What's even more interesting is that the state of the debris that it is currently in, it is still burning in space. You see the hull itself looks like it's superheated, and some of the fragments are spinning wildly in place. It does not look like a hull breach. There is not a vast scattering. It doesn't look like there was antimatter containment that went loose. This is a ship that looks like it's been blown apart. You can see the fragments of this hull kind of slowly spinning in space. It's quite a horrifying sight to behold, and one of the most terrible things a Starfleet or anybody traveling in deep space can encounter is to see the broken remnants of a ship that may have had many life signs on board.
Tactical. Any insights?
From the it's shrapnel, for lack of a better term, can I gauge what blew this ship up?
Let's see. That would mostly be like a personal. That would be you trying to make a personal assessment. Tactical station isn't going to really tell you anything. Science station's probably going to give you most information, but if you're giving a tactical assessment, that's just you giving your experience, what you know and what you see.
Captain, I'm not really sure what could have caused this, but I definitely think that we should be on alert. Maybe
All right.
scan for that will find any, but scan for life signs anywhere. Maybe someone escaped.
Right,
Sight.
firing it up, taking a look for life signs.
Okay. It's a difficulty 0 check. Reason science plus sensors computers.
All right, someone roll Pride.
Roll Pride.
Sensors, computers. Okay.
I'm sorry, sensors and science.
Okay.
Yeah. Lots to keep track of.
For Ollie.
Yes. Oh. No.
Eric?
Yeah.
You were cruelly denied something earlier.
Oh, are you giving it back?
Oh,
At great statistical improbability, I would like to return that to you.
Okay.
Good one success, but also the other thing.
I'm gonna bank
Enjoy.
it.
How many success did you get?
One.
Oh,
gonna
I
bet-
got one too then.
Okay. I'm banking that. You guys get 2 momentum.
Yeah. You're
The
welcome.
sensors
Maxed out.
of the USS Pride sweep over the debris field, detecting no life signs.
Are we able to see any signs of escape pods? Anything to see if anyone made it out safely?
That would be an information spend.
Yes. So I will obtain information. That's a successful check. So my whole science officer thing gets to be
Clicks
a thing.
in.
See, because I didn't fail.
A rare moment of quiet as Avrali focuses on what they're doing and starts typing rapidly into the LCARs. A few moments later, you see the sensors responding. There's a curious object that is about the size of a single life pod. These are life pods aren't the same as like a life raft, so to speak. This is pretty much the bare minimum, bare bones, like life raft kind of deal that a ship could have if it was using pretty old technology, or perhaps trying to compensate for the fact that it doesn't have like a secondary ship of an escape pod of any kind. Essentially, it is a singular unit that stores a single person inside of it. Kind of a Hail Mary, where you step inside into a claustrophobic nightmare and then wait in space and hope. You detect an object that matches that criteria, at least in silhouette, but you're not detecting any life signs from it. In fact, what grabs your attention, Avrali, is you're not detecting anything from it. You're detecting it because it's showing up like a hole in space. As the sensors sweep over it, you basically are seeing it silhouetted. No information or data is coming back from it.
Why?
And it is in the debris field, floating freely.
Oh, I need to find out more about that thing. That's weird. There should not be a hole in the sensors. I hate it and I love it at the same time. Is this romance?
What's that? I didn't catch
Oh,
that.
those were inside thoughts out loud. Oh no.
No, no one heard you. The cat.
Purple. Raleigh's cheeks are purple now. That's Andorian plus blush. There you go. Great. Awesome. Love this for me. No life signs, Lieutenant Commander. Really extremely nothing. I'm gonna put the silhouette of nothing on screen so that everyone can see. See, there's nothing, like actually nothing though. It's weird. As a sensor expert, I can confirm it's weird.
You
Not
put it on
hinky.
screen. You do put it on screen. It's not showing up on sensors, but it's visible. It looks like a single oblong-shaped pod of some kind. It looks almost like it is made out of sandstone from this angle, the way it's catching the light. It looks like it's made out of rock or some kind, just the texture of the surface and the way it's catching some of the distant sunlight. But it is large enough that it conceivably could be about human-esque size, average human size, and it's just floating. There doesn't seem to be any seams. There's no insignia. There's nothing to indicate what it is. And sensors are reading it as nothing. It's not there on sensors.
I'll do the spectrometry overlay so you get the visible, and then over that, the spectral void of the thing. Like some kind of rock. It's shiny.
This is strange. If we want to get closer to investigate, I do think we should keep an eye out for what could have done this. Enemy ships in Federation space.
Also, Drac, did you still want to do that role? You could still do a personal experience role. I think it was pitched to you, and then you never actually rolled for it. So I was going to see if you still wanted to do that, because we kind of
have I seen anything like this? Would I roll for this?
I would say making a security check on this. So, I mean, yeah, essentially, what is it you're trying to ascertain? Are you just trying to call upon, like, have you seen any of this in battle? Have you seen any of this in your security readings?
Have I seen anything in battle, or am I reading up of any
Insight
other
security check? Yeah.
Insight? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Insight is okay. Okay, that's 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay, so then the difficulty of that was 1. So go ahead and bank 1 momentum. This does not look familiar to you at all.
Okay.
You've heard of countermeasure technology. Obviously, there's technology out there that allows you to. It's not unusual to come across something that's designated to inhibit sensors, and your security. You would have enough information to know to give you some context. Is you don't know exactly. You don't yet. You haven't done any scans on the ship itself or whatever it was, so you don't know what this is that's out here floating in pieces in space. But even the Cardassians were really well known for using jamming technology to protect making it impossible to see what it is they were carrying on board. It's not impossible to block sensors. However, this thing just looks like a single perfect slab of stone kind of gently drifting in space, and it's not registering as anything. So that's what makes it pretty unusual to you. You're not familiar with it.
You have a floating momentum, by the way. I don't know if you want to use it or also
I actually
go
have
away.
I have talent self-reliant. Whenever I succeed at a task where you did not purchase additional dice by spending momentum or adding threat, you generate bonus momentum equal to task difficulty. So I'll use my bonus momentum instead, and store the other one. And I think
we're maxed out, so you can have that one to do. If you can do, you've got stuff to do.
Oh boy, I don't know. I definitely want to get more information, but I don't know what question to ask.
I think I can. Oh wait, we have to use it now. Never mind.
Yeah.
Anybody have any thoughts of questions we could pitch for Drac?
Hata has some operations/engineering questions that I was going to ask to do next, but maybe they
it overlaps.
Tactical.
Maybe?
Yeah, I'm wondering. Mine was more about history, though. The history, because Hata has a small craft focus. So yeah.
I have a tactical idea if we're looking for.
Yes.
Yeah.
We know roughly how many different kind of pieces we're finding this thing in. What kind of weapons can do it?
Yeah. Can I use my I'll use my bonus momentum to ask what kind of weapons could do this?
What kind of weapons could destroy whatever the ship was?
Yes.
In this manner.
Burning. In this manner. Especially we've got burning pieces still.
Just looking at it, there's no there's no clear evidence of any plasma weapons being used. So that rules out Romulans if there were Romulans involved with this. Aside from that, there's really no way of telling without a sensor scan by eyeballing it what could have done this.
I would like to wait. Oh, I'm sorry, Elisa. You said you wanted to do something first.
Yeah, I would like to. So while we're all kind of like doing our own angle of
attack on this thing,
yeah, Hata is realizing. So that small craft, that sandstone looking one. I would like to actually search my own knowledge / Starfleet databases and history because like, and this is a little bit of Elisa, but also Hata would know this. Like there have been so many ancient races that they come across, ancient civilizations that have like the type of tech that looks like very like sandstone, like it's made of earthen materials. So I want to like rack Hata's brain and also the Starfleet database for any similar ones that look like this.
Okay.
If there's a historical one that kind of matches or closely resembles this one.
In that case, I'm going to have you roll. Well, whoever wants to roll for the, I almost said Sally Ride. Whoever wants to roll for the USS Pride, Sally Pride.
Sally
Sally
Pride.
Pride.
I got it.
Yeah, get
Yeah. Okay. So for
Thanks,
the
Captain.
Pride, you'll be rolling computers plus command. And as attributes, this is going to be reason plus command.
Okay.
The difficulty of this is going to be 3.
Okay.
Got it by 1. That's 1 success.
No, it's not, unfortunately.
Oh.
I did real bad. No successes, 1 threat. One
Excellent. Okay.
Yikes.
All right. At this point, if it's all right
Should've
with
bought
you,
another
Lisa,
die.
Mhm.
I think Jiren is going to. If we can't scan it here, tactical, engage the tractor beam. Let's bring a piece of the debris to the Pride. We'll scan it here. And then I would like to create a trait.
All right, Captain.
I would like to. So, create a trait it's very interesting in the sense
Yes, it
that
is.
it's very broad. But also I have to succeed on a difficulty of 2 using attribute in department based on what we're doing. I'm trying to with the scanning on the Pride, bringing the debris in, having us be more informed and potentially able to either navigate past the jamming or use what we learned from scanning it on the Pride to determine what happened to it and to take the necessary countermeasures. So I guess I'd call that informed as a trait.
Okay, so you're building so you're trying to figure out, rephrase that. So you're trying to basically, not rephrase it, repeat it.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. So you're trying to ascertain if it's a threat so you can beam it on board. Is that right? What were you?
So right now we're trying to figure out exactly what happened to this thing, and we're having a hard time scanning, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, it's not showing. I mean, you can see it because it's not showing up on scans. Like space around it itself is not.
So I'm having us tractor in a small piece of the debris, and then I'm using the creative trait to give us an informed trait. Like by bringing it in, we're now more informed to the situation that we're in.
Oh, I see. So you basically want this to be, you're building a trait that by bringing it on board, you're kind of getting a big information spend. Obtain information spend. So
because trying to scan the thing is not working. So let's just bring it in.
Okay. So then we're going to create the trait that we'll come up with a better way of phrasing it. But essentially, when you are able to, when you have this thing laid out on the deck and up close, so maybe that's the way to phrase it, like close, like personal range scan. Is what's be required to get what you need from this thing.
Yeah, and I have to succeed on a difficulty 2, using attribute in department and focus based on what you're doing. If successful, you create, change, or remove an existing trait, or increase or decrease the potency of an existing trait. So I'd like to use. Let me go back to my character sheet. I'd like to use insight and engineering.
Okay.
Okay. And the focus that I would like to use is I don't think I have anything good here.
Can Hata assist because she has a focus that's related to this sort of?
What's your focus?
Small craft. But you're just taking a piece of that other debris, right? The bigger ship. Okay.
Yep.
Well, I still could because I have a decent engineering score. If I can
Small craft.
No, yeah, forget the small craft thing. I can
Okay.
just if I can assist the captain with this as an operations / engineering type of gal.
You could. Yeah, you should be able to assist for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
The focus that I'll pitch, it's a little bit of a stretch, but right now we're kind of relying on the Pride to do the work, and it's not working. So I would like to argue that let's do team dynamics. Let's have our CAGs take a look at this thing. Let's have our engineers and scientists take. Basically, he's creating an operation of you're going to be the computers because the Pride can't see anything right now.
Okay.
And I'm gonna roll. It's difficulty 2, so hold on to your butts.
Securing butts.
So for this, it's insight and engineering, which is 13, and that's a 13 and a 7.
13 and a 7. All right.
Can Hata assist by just making sure you have?
Mhm.
Were you doing this through the ship, like using the ship for it?
No, we're bringing it in so we could do
We're
this
just
manually.
tractoring it in.
But
Okay.
you can still aid me by just rolling 1d20 on your own. It's like
Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
trying to justify it like story wise.
Yeah, no, totally.
Well,
Operations is always like, is the energy flowing where it should be?
yeah.
So if I can use that angle to assist you for the tractoring. Okay.
And
Yes,
the
once-
way I picture it in my head, Jiren is organizing the tractor beam and Hata is organizing personnel.
Great. Okay. I rolled an 8 on insight and engineering.
So this is to tractor the device, this thing, whatever it is, and bring it into the hangar bay. Is that right?
Mhm.
That's what all this. Okay. Tractor beam strength 4 on the Pride, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay. This arcing energy emits from the hull of the Pride, just underneath the saucer, just latches on. You see the tractor beam fluctuates a little bit, like it's having trouble grabbing the object. You do see that it's being influenced, though, like the object responds. So as the tractor beam begins to slowly pull it back, you notice, and sensors are reading it out, that it's only a partial lock. It looks like the tractor beam is actually having trouble assessing and locking on to this thing as it's being pulled back. It's almost like instead of grabbing something and pulling it back to the ship, the tractor beam instead is almost behaving like it's just kind of pulling the water towards the ship to try to get the current to bring it with it. That's the kind of effectiveness that you're watching the tractor beam as it flickers a little bit as it tries to lock onto this thing.
It's slippery.
Very, Captain. It's struggling.
Security. You see moments before, you see on the tactical readout as the tractor beam is engaging, you see the bird of prey decloaking. And you get about a half a word out before you realize the disruptor cannons are opening fire. As this thing just immediately, you see the sensors, the readout, as the moment it pops up, this thing is just slightly angled just underneath the Pride. Wings folded down in attack position. You see it and straighten. As you're about to call it out, this thing is going to open fire. I'm spending threat.
Oh, boy.
How
Captain, we're under
how much-
fire.
And
How much threat are we spending?
let me determine what I plan on doing if I hit you,
Okie dokie.
because that's the next part of this. All right, so I'm rolling dice here.
Okay, so also, can I have the ship character sheet?
Oh yeah, I'll drop it to you right away.
We gave it to everyone except Drac. No tactical officer.
We're hazing Drac tonight, I think, is what's
I
happening.
did it on purpose.
You
No,
have to
you did.
guess. Okay, so this is. Ooh, okay.
Thank you.
Oh, damn you, fast Sam.
7.
I don't think another one came after 12:30 a.m. last night. I think that was the last one. Final
Oh,
underscore final one.
Stand by, please.
Never. I'm offended. And your hardware muted. Yeah. No.
Yep.
Yep,
I got it there.
we go.
The joke's gone. It's fine.
So, and then, okay, and then adding, okay.
Time to pull up ship combat. These they should have been my ship.
Okay, so hold on. So 5. Okay. But it's a disruptor, so it gets intense.
More.
So
Oh my god.
it gets the intense merit,
Uh-huh.
Oh, good.
which is bad and good. Disruptors are bad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Shields are up because we're on yellow alert, right?
We were.
Yeah, you guys have your shields up. That is correct. And after the ship is getting hit, you guys it immediately goes to red alert.
Yeah.
So intense. When making an attack with this weapon, you may increase the damage by 1 by spending momentum rather than 2 momentum. It's repeatable. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I'll spend I am going to spend a total of 3 momentum this turn.
Yes! That's the number I was looking for. I get my determination back.
Yep, you get your determination back.
Oh,
My
the will of the
goodness.
prophets. Let's go.
You are getting your determination back. However, the USS Pride is about to take 11 points of damage
Awesome.
from the disruptor cannons that just open fired underneath. I also rolled a crit on you guys.
Of course.
Then I
Oh,
spent momentum for intensity. And so and it's cheap to do it too. So, and then I'm going to spend the other threat that I had, which is going to equal what I was going to spend to keep the initiative.
Okay.
Let's see. So when you take damage, is that a breach?
No. So this is how this is going to go. Here we go. So disruptors open fire. The cannons of this bird of prey open up on you guys. As soon as this happens, you can hear your security officer shouting, Klingon bird of prey decloaking, and then the ship takes the hit. So the way this works is, y'all get rocked hard. The way this is going to work is, I made the attack. I'm going to resolve the attack. I did increase the difficulty because I targeted a specific system. So I can actually tell you exactly which system was hit. However, we're going to do damage first. Okay. Resolving the attack, selecting the selected down. Yep. So the following provides that is. Oh yeah, no, I don't need to do that. In this case, start the new scene. Yep. So then the starship damage, determining damage. This is good. This is since the first time we've had ship combat. We're going to go ahead and walk y'all through this, or roll y'all through this, and then the way this is working is damage rating determined by the weapon used, which is modified by talents and other factors. So if the ship has any resistance, which you all do, the Pride is going to reduce before we do any damage to anything. The damage is reduced by the resistance of the USS Pride, which I believe her resistance is 5. Is that right? Or is it higher?
It is resistance.
It's 5.
It is 5. Okay, cool. So 11 drops down.
Okay.
So now you are at 6. Okay, complications. Complication on the attack. There was not any. Apply impact. So reduce the shields, ship shields by 1 for each point of damage after applying resistance. So the Pride is going to lose 6 points to the shields.
Puts us down to 12, I believe.
Mm-hmm. $12 points down to the shields. So reducing. So hold on. So the shields drop down to 12.
Yeah, 18 to 12.
Yeah.
Okay. Stand by. Okay. In which case, keeping the initiative. And on the next go, I did target a system. Is that going to do anything for me? If the task is successful, it inflicts damage. Roll the random system, determine which system was hit. The targeting solution's minor action allows me to make the choice, which I did. Yeah, that's going to be counting as okay. You guys are not shaken. However, I did keep the initiative, so I am going to actually open fire on you again.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Can
What's
I
up?
use decisive leadership?
What does that do?
In a conflict, once per round, you or your allies may keep the initiative for free.
When it's your turn, you'll be able to keep the initiative for free.
Gotcha.
You've been ambushed by a bird of prey that's been threatened is keeping the initiative.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it's going to open fire again. When you're using targeting solution as a minor action, you can gain both the benefits of reroll a d20 on the next attack and choose any system hit because it's got fast targeting. So it's going to do that again. Improved power. Okay, cool. Very good. All right. So opening fire. I'm going to spend another point of threat to give myself a third d20 this time. And the disruptors erupt once more. I roll a 18, a 5, and a 3. So 2 of those are going to score hits. Does that? Yes, it does. 2 of those are crits. So that's going to be 4 successes because 4. So, and the difficulty was 2. So 2 go spilling over. I'm going to spend both of those 2 to intense, which is going to increase the damage. So 5, 6, 7. Yep. 1, 7. And then I'm going to spend for a devastating attack.
Oh my God.
And no, I'm just going to add damage. And it's repeatable. I'm going to spend 2 more threat. For every 2 momentum spent. Oh, shit. Then in that case, I'll just spend that. 7, 8, 9. Yep. So 10. All right. So 10 are going to hit the shields. Disruptor smashing into the shields again. That is going to do 10 point. After resistance, y'all are going to do 5 damage to the shields. And what does that bring the Pride's shields down to?
7.
7. Now we're into it.
Was
Okay.
that 5 after this? After
Resistance? Yeah.
okay.
Okay. So 1 sec.
How much momentum do we have, guys?
We might be
We're
max.
full.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
No,
we're
we're full.
maxed.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Shields are at 50%. You're just
Yeah.
below 50%. So if the damage reduces the shields below to half its maximum value, the ship is shaken, with the commanding officer, the highest ranking character, picking a result below. However, I targeted a specific system. So this is going to be a shaken vessel. If the ship is shaken, it has suffered minor damage or disruption. The ship's captain and the highest ranking officer aboard randomly determine. I've already picked what it is. On both attacks, I targeted the weapon systems of the USS Pride, specifically aiming for the tractor beam.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
As it is angled underneath, yeah. So the weapon systems are going to be impacted. Okay, so let's finish this up so we can narrate what happens and you guys can start your round. Okay, so minor damage suffers casualties and minor damage are so basically the Pride has taken punishment. You've taken minor damage. On the next turn, this ship or the character aboard takes the on the next turn, this ship or a character aboard the ship takes, they may not take a major action.
Oh.
Okay.
Wait, who is that? What did you say?
Go ahead and do me a favor. Whoever wants to roll, whoever is tracking the damage the ship has taken. And I think that's actually you, Hata, because you're operations officer. So go ahead and roll me a d20.
12.
12, losing power. If you have reserve power, you lose it.
Oh my God.
The next time you attempt to regain power, the difficulty is increased by 1. Okay, so quick refresher. As we're about to head into the combat, reserve power is pretty important in this game.
Mhm.
Reserve power, they've got rid of power points for ships. It is now just reserve power. It's something you either have or you do not have. Reserve power is used to regenerate your shields, to reroute power, and to go to warp. And to make things even more fun, your weapon systems were targeted and the ship was shaken. So difficulty on targeting this vessel is going to go up by 1 now.
Oh,
What's up?
Did we take 5 damage?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
More
Okay,
than once.
Okay, cool. So that's a breach. That's
correct.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's what I was hoping.
Y'all will
for.
have 1 breach on the ship.
Captain?
No, this is awesome.
Secret
because
Captain?
That's
Because-
essentially what I was describing to you of adding the difficulty to the weapon systems. Essentially, what I was describing to you, that is a breach. If anything impacts the system and causes the difficulty to raise up, that's what breaches do.
Take
So-
that 1 breach.
so,
you guys have a whole breach.
once per scene, when an ally suffers an injury or the ship suffers a breach,
Uh-huh.
prevent that damage or breach. Describe what precaution you took to prevent that issue.
Okay. You're going to prevent the breach.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
cool.
Our systems are fine. Essentially, I just like to have a flashback with between Tavine and Jaren, where they were discussing boxing tactics, and one of the tactics that he explained was the Philly special, where you take the momentum and keep moving with it.
Mhm.
So essentially, you turn a direct blow into a glancing blow.
Okay.
So as soon as we see the attack coming, it's just Tavine, Philly special.
Philly special.
Oh, you're going to hate me for this.
Oh, good.
Oh no.
What did you just use to do that?
That is
that a
one of my
talent?
talents. Yeah.
It's one of your talents. Okay. Okay. You're good. You're okay.
Are we? I don't know about that. I don't know about that one.
I thought I was about to pull some BS on you, but no, you're okay. That will go
There's like
through.
a
You actually
canceling
were-
a ship ability flavor thing versus personal talent kind of thing is the vibe I'm getting here.
Yeah,
There's some ability for negation, but not for personal talents.
There was a second there where I was like, I don't know if you can do that, but yes, you can. Okay. So the last thing I need to double check is just the shaken rule here. So that, okay.
How much damage before we're stirred?
You just okay. It is now y'all's turn.
All right.
There is you don't know what the specifics are, but there is a Klingon bird of prey that is just off the stern. I'm sorry, not off the stern, but just off the starboard side of the ship at a slight angle. That is just fired up and into the saucer section of the USS Pride.
Captain.
The
Our turn.
entire ship violently rattles as multiple disruptor bolts from this thing's cannons smash into the shields with vengeance. The entire ship is rattled heavily, and you can hear people cry out on the bridge as they were not expecting that. Some of the ensigns grabbing hold of their seats to stay where they are as the entire ship suddenly automatically goes to red alert, and the alarms begin to blare.
Okay.
It's beneath us, you said.
Mhm.
Oh boy. Okay.
Of course it is for the best. All of it are beneath.
I have ideas.
Yes.
What are your ideas?
Captain, I can do one of two things. I can send a team to our breach to start working on that, and we need the weapons back up. Oh wait, we didn't get a breach
We didn't get a breach. Yep.
at all. Like we don't have any.
No, he pulled a fast one.
Then, Captain, I can
Mhm.
reroute our power and get our reserve power back up so that we can regenerate shields.
That's your directive. Do it. And
Yes, sir.
I'm using direct, which is spend 1 momentum and select 1 ally on the bridge who immediately attempts a single major action, and you assist them by rolling a d20 with your control command.
Okay, that means this is your action for the round, not Hata's. So
Yeah,
Hata's still going to
you
be
go
able to.
first. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, he goes first.
Yeah, so basically this means Hata is going to be able to go again, but it basically means on your turn you're going to use your action to tell Hata to do a thing. So
and I could do something with a minor action too if I recall correctly.
Use the direct major action allows the character to issue an order. So go ahead and do it. And
here we go. I'm okay. That's cool. That's cool. Command and control. For me, that's command control. 12. Roll to 10. All right. So you got one success from me. You were gonna do a thing, so just add an additional success.
Okay.
And I'm going to use call to action. In a conflict, you may use the prepare minor action to grant one ally who you can communicate with a minor action of their choice, which they perform immediately. Tactical. Aim.
Captain, on it. And I'll aim.
okay, you lock phaser banks onto the Klingon bird of prey.
It's our turn now. And I'm then going to end my turn with us. Decisive leadership. We're going to keep the initiative.
Now, tell me, what is decisive leadership? Is that a talent?
Yep.
Okay, and then you use. Remind me again. You used an action to.
So major action direct, minor action call to action, which was to direct.
Okay.
Prepare, aim.
Okay.
And then call to action. And then decisive leadership, which is us keeping the initiative.
Okay, cool. Let's get Hata still needs to roll to regain power. So
Yeah.
Hata, that's a regain power check. It's control plus engineering task.
Yes.
Do you get an assist from the ship?
It does not say you do. It just says you draw
Yeah.
energy from one system to another. The ship's reserve power. Attempt to control and plus engineering task with difficulty of 1. You may succeed at cost. On success, you restore the ship's reserve power. It's difficulty 1 typically. Unfortunately, this one's difficulty 2. Because
You already got a success from Captain.
Yeah.
And
Oh, wait, no, it's not.
five.
Why? Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah, it is difficulty 2 because y'all are shaken. You didn't get a breach,
okay.
but the ship is shaken.
Okay. Question about this. I forgot it. Go ahead, Nora.
I was going to say you automatically have one success from my assisting you, and with my advisor trait, whenever you assist another character using the command, using your command, your the assisted character may re-roll 1d20.
Nice.
Yay. Okay.
He's built for this.
What's the question? Dang. Oh, I know what the question was. Are our shields? You did say before when you told us about the breach that our shields were at 50%. Did that change too because of the non-breach?
You're considered. That didn't change. You did take that, yeah.
Okay, just making sure because that's why I wanted to do this roll. Okay. Okay. I rolled a 2 and a 15. Control engineering, I think, is 14, so I'd like to re-roll that.
Yeah, you get one reroll.
Yeah, let me just check though. Control and yeah, okay. Okay, I got a 3 and a 2, and my engineering is 4.
Are they both crits? Do you have a?
Well, they're crits if I didn't.
Did you have a
chosen
focus?
2 focuses yet. I'm still deciding on focuses. Sorry, y'all.
Are you good? You're good.
None of them are in this though.
Well, you're
They
ops.
should be. I know they
Right.
should be in like energy power, but I hate to do that to.
Stand by 1 second. Sorry, give me 1 sec because I'm just noticing something. Represents serious damage. Okay, associated with the system struck by an attack negative trait. Yeah. Oh, right, potency. But this. Sorry, talk amongst yourselves. We're almost there.
Oh, good. I'm very.
Because chat was asking, it's still stuck. My
Oh
Pride
my
D20 is still stuck.
Oh my
no.
Yes.
Have you tried like water or Vaseline?
That was the first thing I tried.
Oh my god.
So I'm gonna have to take I'm gonna
Dish
take
soap?
power tools to it. I could try dish soap, but
Yeah.
I genuinely think it's just because it's like bent and the little corner
Yeah.
is stuck in there, so it is just fully
Oh,
hinged itself
Noir,
in. So I'm gonna be
No,
able to
you guys did not suffer a breach. You don't suffer a breach at 5 damage. You suffer a breach when the ship hits 0 shields, or if it was shaken and then you are shaken again, then you take a breach.
Okay.
Otherwise,
you
you guys are okay. You don't have to burn that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If the ship is already shaken from that attack, then shields are at 50%. Then you suffer a breach instead of
Gotcha.
being shaken again. Yeah.
I thought
So
I
you're
read
okay.
that if you take
So that's okay.
Yeah.
Nothing else changes. Just you don't have to burn that ability.
Woo!
Okay. So what was the result of your roll there?
Oh,
Kata?
I got 2 successes.
2 successes is enough to
Three-
get
three
reserve
plus-
power back online.
So we got 3.
Yes.
3 successes. The
Yes,
difficulty was
three.
2, so you got 1 momentum from that.
And we're maxed out.
Woo.
All right.
And we're keeping
So
initiative.
moving
And we're keeping
fast,
initiative.
Hata, you managed to reroute power to the engines and get reserve power back online.
For chat, we have secondary reactors, which means the ship has additional impulse and fusion reactors, which allow the ship to generate far greater quantities of energy once per scene. When you take the reroute power action, you may spend 2 momentum to immediately regain the. Oh, you rolled for it.
Yeah, you could have spent
Yeah, you rolled
momentum
for
if you'd wanted to.
Yeah, we could have just gotten it back if we wanted to. So you rolled for it. That's fine. We rolled for it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, 'cause it's also an action, so we can.
Don't forget, y'all. Don't forget that. I just want to remind players. We are. What is this? Session number 6, I think, for us.
Yeah, something like that.
So
7.
don't feel weird if you don't know the rules yet. It's 2nd edition. These are all new takes on how combat works.
Yeah.
It's totally fine to ask questions or to read it. So
If we still need it again, we do have that secondary
Yeah, we can
reactor.
just have it.
We
Secondary
can only
reactor.
do it once per scene. So
Mhm.
To just
Okay,
have. So that's
So
cool.
on your turn, you're going to reroute power, and then you're going to keep the initiative. So turn passes back to Pride now.
I am going to be firing. I'm going to fire down at this bird of prey. I have the steady hands talent. When you take the aim mana action before range attack, you add 1 to the attack severity in addition to the other effects.
Nice.
So it's bumped up by 1, and I'm going to fire.
Okay. I want
Jax, I did not know you had that.
I want to point out and just give a quick reminder. She's an old ship, but the Pride is a battle cruiser. She does nothing to shrug at here. This is a ship that is designed to deal with situations like this. And your Vulcan tactical officer is about to demonstrate how powerful a starship can be when that's its loadout. So go ahead and make your attack.
Yeah, you want to buy some dice?
Before I do that, I did a minor action for free because the captain. I want to take another. I don't know if this can stack. Can I take a minor action for my actual turn as well?
You get a minor
the
action
target
and a
system.
major action. You can take them in any order you want.
Yeah, you took the
so-
captain's minor action, so you
Yeah,
get
I
your
took the
full own
captain's.
turn.
So I'm going to use my own minor action to target solutions to target the system.
Okay.
I have the talent precision. I'm
Oh
targeting.
my
You
goodness.
can more easily pick out target specific systems when making an attack, so I can choose both options.
Which system would you like to target?
Weapons, obviously. I'm going to show them how
Weapon
this
systems. You're going to
actually
shoot at one of its cannons. Okay.
done. And then I'm going to attack.
So that would normally increase the difficulty of this attack. However, you've got a talent that lets you be precise.
Mhm.
Okay.
You wanna? I want to suggest burning 3 momentum to give you 2 bonus dice because I think we should juice this wild roll you just made.
I would like not to because I have
No.
self-reliant, which gives me extra bonus momentum if I don't buy dice.
buy.
But actually,
we're
I want to
capped out
know.
on-
Do I know what the difficulty is?
So when you're firing phasers, the difficulty is almost always going to be 2.
Oh yeah, and I'm not going to buy anything.
You guys are in it's an optimal range right now, so the difficulty is 2.
Yeah,
Are
with
we firing
with,
our phaser banks or torpedoes?
Well, it's not. You could maneuver the ship to fire torpedoes. I would just give you a heads up. Torpedoes are an excellent way to end a fight fast because all it does is breach the hell out of things. However, it's also automatic threat because torpedoes, they shoot to kill. When you're firing torpedoes, it's to break somebody's ship in half.
Gotcha.
So you
I'm gonna go
can,
with
and
phasers.
I'm not saying don't go for the threat.
Oh no, we're good.
I'm going to go with phases. I think I
Okay.
have with aim and target precision targeting. I can re-roll both of these basically for free.
I'm sorry, Drac, I didn't catch that last part.
Oh, and I'm just saying with my talents and what I've done so far, I can basically re-roll both for free, which I'm going to do now.
Okay, cool.
I rolled terribly.
Roll back.
Okay, yeah, that's 2 successes. 2 successes.
Any
one
kind
sec.
of focuses?
One moment.
they poked us, and we're like, "Oh, word."
Get wrecked.
Go for a fleshy underbelly. That seems dishonorable.
Rude.
Okay, go ahead. Follow through.
Yeah, that's 2 successes.
2 successes to hit.
Yep.
Okay, so then you needed it was difficulty 2.
Mhm.
So that is going to be a strike on this guy.
And I think I don't know. So increasing severity, does that increase the damage then? By
You
1?
can also keep in mind phaser banks have versatility 2, which is pretty awesome. It's not going to really trigger right now, but versatility 2 basically fuses you with momentum if you start rolling over the difficulty number. But yes,
perfect. Okay.
you can burn momentum right now to increase the punishment of the attack. That is correct.
So
that's
with
what
steady,
he did.
With steady hands, that happens automatically because I took an aim minor action.
Okay.
And I'm gonna let that go through. Because of self-reliant, I get 2 bonus momentum. I'm going to spend 1 bonus momentum to give myself another minor action, and I'm going to aim again. And I'm going to use the other momentum to use my talent to fire at will. If you make an attack, you may use the swift action momentum spend for 1 momentum rather than 2. But the second major action you take must also be an attack. So I'm going to attack again. With my second major attack. As I fire, you see them, Taeyeon kind of hook their cane on the armrest of their chair and almost immediately lock in as they take 2 shots.
So you're not adding damage, you're just shooting multiple times, basically.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Who wants to roll for the Pride?
I can take it this time. What
All
am I
right.
rolling?
You are going to be rolling weapons plus security.
Cool.
And Drac, you are rolling control plus security, just like you did last time. Did anybody roll for the Pride in the last roll? Or was it just Drac? No. Roll. Okay, somebody roll for Pride real quick before we do this.
Okay.
I was about to say.
We need 1 over for the first one.
That's fine. In which case, go ahead and make the second attack roll.
So I rolled 1 and a 2.
Oh my god.
Okay, so you crit.
So I crit on 1 of them. It doesn't match my focuses. So I don't crit on both. But I can 1 of them. So that's 3 successes.
The Pride rolled a 1.
And the Pride rolled a crit.
We got to change the name to the USS Find Out.
Okay. So how many total successes is that? The difficulty was 2.
Difficult is 3 now because this is a second major action.
Oh, right. So then it would have been 4 successes. Is that right?
You don't have any.
It was 5 total.
5 total.
Any, like focuses that are about combat?
Not about ship combat. I mean, I have the shipboard tactical systems. Does that count?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
absolutely.
in that case, I crit twice. Never mind.
That's 6.
6.
That's 6, baby. That's 3 crits.
6. So then that's okay. So then that's 3 successes over the target, which you can now spend as bonus momentum.
Yeah, they're floating. We gotta use all of them.
And I also have self-reliant again, so I automatically get extra bonus momentum for beating the difficulty. So we actually have 6 momentum, and I like to put all of them into damage, please.
Yeah, let's go.
Go ahead.
Excellent.
Did you know that having guests on your show is really fun? I don't know if
I'm
anybody
sorry,
knew that.
I didn't mean to jog him that hard. Okay.
Oh no.
So how many total successes on that?
Lord Particle, thank you for the
I just need to know how much damage it's being done because you've got all this floating momentum. So what's being spent on damage? Like, what are y'all doing?
Okay,
So
it was 6
we spent
successes,
6 on extra damage, so that's
3, and then you got
15.
How much?
15 damage. 15 damage. Yeah.
Okay, stand by.
As
you
per
know. And so many times.
antithetical to everything. Everything.
Is it because I'm playing a on the little leggies this time? Like, is this why this is happening to me?
Yeah, this is what you get for playing bipedal.
I'm so sorry, Phoenix. You were right. You were right the whole time.
Okay, so that's
I should really just learn to roll with the punches.
okay. So then that's hold on. So that's okay.
How we feeling? How we doing?
Um,
How's that feel?
That's shaken. Okay, so then right on the second. Pause
Turn
it.
around.
I built this character for
And
combat.
then because it went to
And you got
0,
combat.
right?
I gotta tell you, giving you aim was a throwaway, and I'm so glad.
Nope, that was perfect.
That was great.
No, yeah, our whole shtick is line up the shot for him.
Yeah. Good leader.
There's this.
Good leader. Leader build. So yeah, this is just I'm so sad about it. I'm so upset that I've done this to myself. Now I'm worried
So
that I'm gonna
what
break.
is this like the special
Uh,
dice that I know wizards sent out dice?
Yes, it's the
recently.
wizard's
Is that it?
dice. It got
Oh,
stuck in the
no.
tube, and I couldn't get it out, so I peeled
it
the tube
have
apart,
to-
and then I pinched it too much, and now it's just permanently stuck.
Okay.
Just
I'm
created a
just trying to
shank.
figure out how to chemically extract. Like, there's a
Right.
way.
I
I
need, like,
know there's a
boil it.
way. It
I don't know.
frustrates me. It frustrates the Avrali in me that I can't
Yeah.
see that
Yeah,
right now.
we'll figure it out. We'll
I-
chat.
I guess it's
Yeah.
kind of like a do or die type situation.
I
Yeah,
somehow
okay,
turned
I'm-
the ship's guns on drums.
I'm just this is the first time I'm doing this. I'm calculating it by step to make sure I don't miss
Yeah.
any steps. So
Oh, you're good. We're
Look at that.
fomenting mutiny while you're doing that.
and then
I thought I was on a roll.
Blah, 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 blah.
I would rather die.
We roll
roll
3 crits, and now this is just the rest of the night. I say as if it wasn't our guest.
I mean, you ever hit a ship so hard the ship gets the spinning rainbow beach ball?
yeah.
Apparently.
I mean, like, can we just like imagine this as the show? Like,
That's true.
Hata just
2 breaches.
re-ups all the power. Captain's giving out orders, and then Taeon is just nuking this clique. God.
So we're calling this maneuver the find out is what's
And
Attack
then-
pattern, find out. Yes.
is what I'm
you
gathering.
didn't target a specific system on the second attack, right? You just open fired.
I did tug on this. Was it second? No, just the first one.
Yeah, just the first one.
Just the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Because I'm tracking where these breaches are going.
Plural.
Everywhere.
Plural.
They're everywhere you wanted to be, but
Okay.
now you can't because
How
there's a
many
whole
breaches?
breach on deck 3.
Should have just
How many
let us
breaches?
track the
Yes.
debris. Now we gotta
okay.
make more debris.
We're just making a mess.
We're littering.
Half the ship
Aw.
scale.
Captain,
God. That's got to be a prime
campsite
directive.
rules.
Yeah. We have to pick up after ourselves now. God, who do you think is going to clean this up, huh?
Oh, little tractor beam as a broom and dustpan kind of vibe.
Okay, but
That's
what?
them. That's
Hold
them
up.
now.
So what happens? So I'm curious what happens. Okay, that's what happens.
What did I do?
These men are ship suffers.
Everything.
I'm glad that that's being said about them, but not us.
Roll. Okay. At the end of the round, let's roll. What? Oh, wow. What is the engineering rating of this ship?
Ours?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
No, them. They're
Got it.
The Pride is hit hard by disruptor cannons, slamming into the underside of the Pride and breaching through a portion of her shields, dropping the shields down dramatically low and sending more than a few ensigns flying. Down in sickbay, after everyone is picking themselves up, as soon as people are picking themselves up the floor and asking if everyone is okay, Commander Selma, you immediately start receiving casualties. People start rushing into sickbay in the few moments that pass. And then the second impact, as the Pride is rocked once again from the impact of this bird of prey opening fire. As everyone on the bridge grabs hold of their stations and tries to keep their cool, you receive the order to return fire. Summoning that Vulcan cool that you typically discard. It doesn't really serve any purpose, but comes to you rather naturally when the job needs to get done. You lock on using the phaser banks. The last time the USS Pride had to open fire using her phaser banks was the Dominion War. You target the bird of prey, and for the first time in that many years, you open fire on it. The first hit blows the underside of this bird of prey's weapon system clean off of the wing. Keeping in mind that these are phaser banks. These do not fire like phaser arrays. It's not like you see in the Next Generation where it's a constant stream of energy flowing out of the saucer section. This is literally like bursts of heavy beam fire erupting from these emitters. They're even more highly focused and even more damaging. Because the way it goes is phaser arrays, 360 arc, you can fire anywhere. And they have a little more versatility. Phaser banks, these were designed for battleships. These were designed to punch hard. The first hit rips the right side, the starboard side of this bird of prey's the wing weapon system clean off. The second hit slams into the top part of its upper hull, and there is a scattering of beautiful glowing glitter-like lights that erupt off the top of the bird of prey. The bird of prey kind of banks suddenly to the left, and you see its engines begin to activate and sputter. A few moments later, as it tries to regain control from the secondary hit, Evrali, you detect a massive antimatter surge in its engineering compartment. You guys,
Captain.
I do want to point out that this thing closed into the optimal range in which to use its cannons. If you're not sure what range that is, it's close. So as you guys
And get us out now. We have to get out. Helm. Out of range. That's gonna blow.
Unfortunately, let's look at this. Let's see. This is going to be tricky. Catastrophic damage. Ship suffered. The ship this result can be avoided. Stabilizing the eject. Nope. It's instantly destroying the ship, killing on board. Inflicting closer where X is the scale. Okay. No, it just happens. It just pops. You detect it. Evrali, you hear Evrali shouting out the warning, Captain, as they detect the energy buildup inside of the bird of prey. And the next thing you know, there is a blinking, quiet flash of white light. Lights up the interior of the bridge as you see it through the view screen. And Captain, you barely have enough time to get out the words brace for impact as the bird of prey detonates. The warp core breaches and the ship explodes, disintegrating. The shockwave slams hard into the Pride. And the Pride is going to take...
I would like to spend a determination, please.
Hold on. Let me tell you what's happening, and then I'll hear what your determination spin is. Let's see. The reactors explode, killing ship and everybody on board, inflicting X damage, where X is with a piercing quality to all other ships within close range, where X is the exploding ship scale +1. That is 4 points of damage with piercing. So it could have been worse. Yeah. 1 sec. And then I want to hear what your determination spend is.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that was a Burrell class bird of prey, old bird of prey. It was not capable of standing up to the punishment it got. The weapon is effective at cutting through layers of protection. The weapon it ignores any resistance. So this is going straight to shields. All 4 points of damage go straight to shields. And that is going to bring you to what were you going to say, Captain? What was going to be your determination spend?
I was going to use my orb experience talent, but if it's only going through the shield, never mind.
Well, here's the good sign. Here's where you get to burn your talent, because it's going to shields, but your shields are going to drop below 25%, which means you're going to be shaken again, which is a breach.
So if you've got something to prevent it, do it.
Now is the time to use that prevention. So what we could say is, if Raleigh successfully warns you all as they leap out of their seat and tell you that there's about to be a warp core breach on board the bird of prey. If you want to use that talent, we can say that that is what activates that talent. And Raleigh gives you the warning to angle the ship away just as that bird of prey explodes.
Yeah. All right, cool. So let's pull it out. Let's do it.
Do it.
I'm gonna use orb experience. You've received a vision from the Bajoran prophets through one of the orbs. You have one additional value, which represents some prophecy or insight into the future. Furthermore, once per session, when that value is used, you gain twice the normal benefit if you spend determination. You may gain 2 benefits listed. I am going to spend my determination, and the value that I'm using is my crew's survival at all cost, and I'm going to use it to create the trait protected, and I'm going to use it twice to make protected too.
Okay. In which case, you managed to get the Pride out of the way. As the flash dims and things begin to settle, there's a quiet on the bridge for a moment. There's that brief hesitation, just like that all took the time span of possibly 45 seconds. 1 minute ago, you were calmly tractoring something in, and now this. Everyone is quiet on the bridge for a moment as you see the light begin to dim in the view screen, and you see the pieces of that bird of prey scattered, vaporized, torn apart. The debris field that was close by has also been affected by this explosion. And you see almost all of those metal bits from whatever ship that was have been scattered deeper into the asteroid field. Still present, though. There is no sign of the object you were tractoring.
Sorry, Captain. Wasn't able to target that last shot.
You did fine. How's everybody?
And just as you ask that question, Captain, you see coming in from the report from Lieutenant Commander Selma Conway down in sickbay. For the first time in your life, sitting in the captain's chair, you read words you've dreaded. 2 casualties, 18 injuries. And that is where we are going to stop tonight's game.
Thanks for guesting, Drag.
My pleasure.
Hello, Star Trek.
Combat is a lot more streamlined in this version of the game. It just takes a couple of measuring of like how much damage the ship took to measure those breaches, but I can tell you it was a Burrell class bird of prey because it is a scale 3 vessel.
Mm.
It was punching way above its weight, but it did not stand a chance going up against the scale 5 Excelsior battle cruiser. And that second hit, literally, it was like a Grissom shot. Because when I rolled to see what systems it hit, it went to engineering. And everything starts falling apart after you pass the threshold of scale on a ship and how much damage it's taken. So that old 53-year-old bird of prey just detonates, leaving the stunned crew of the USS Pride trying to understand what just happened and who these Klingons were and why they tried to murder the crew of the Pride to stop you from tractoring. Clearly had an interest in what it was you were grabbing out of that debris field. Let's find out next week, where we have special guest Xander will be joining us, reprising his role as Teclanatus in Clear Skies.
Oh my god.
Drac, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and for also for just demolishing that bird of prey. Utterly
Thank you for the
demolishing.
explosions.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
That was a lot of fun. Thank you, Aux Crew, as always. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you for supporting the show and the StreamPunks. We couldn't do it without you. We will see you next Monday night as the mystery deepens. And until then, hailing frequencies are closed.